Yes, baby. Oh my god, bro. I just had a heart attack, mini heart attack, bro. Fucking dropped my steering wheel. I just got this bitch and I was panicked. I thought I broke this shit, bro. Holy hell, fuck, I dropped my steering wheel, gang. I wonder how many people drop their steering wheels. Cause you're supposed to keep this shit attached at all times, but I have it on my desk. So it's like I want to be able to freely use my desk whenever, like when I'm eating and shit like that. So I take the wheel off. But damn, I dropped that shit from this high up. This is a high up desk, bro. That shit fell. Left a big ass dent on my shit, bro. Holy shit. Left a big ass dent on my shit, bro. Anyways, I hope it still works. That's the main thing, bro. I hope this shit still works. It looks like it's still working. I'm not hearing any noises, anything. Holy, man. Holy. Configure that too. What? UDP? I don't know what the fuck that means, UDP. What does UDP mean? Telemetry configuration. I don't understand this shit, gang. All I know is my heart fuck I dropped as soon as this shit. All I heard was bang. That shit was mad loud, bro. Cause I'm fucking with my chair and shit, and I forgot I put the Moza R5 on top of the desk, getting ready to like set it up. And I forgot I had it on the desk. I'm over here fucking with my chair, this chair. I flipped it around and hit the steering wheel, and this shit just went boom. Man loud, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that shit scared the shit out of me. My heart was rushing. I was Putin for a second there, me boy. My heart was rushing. But it looks like it didn't bend or anything. Thank God, man. Holy hell, that would have been a disaster, bro. I would have never bought another steering wheel. I would have been so pissed. I would have never bought another steering wheel, bro. Holy hell. I didn't even check my audio. Does my audio sound right? I gotta get a new mic. Mic check 3, 2, 1. Mic check 3, 2, 1. Mic check 3, 2. We Gucci, we Gucci, we Gucci. I gotta make these other videos public. Let me just do that right now, real quick, because I've been acting lazy as fuck. Uh, Radio producer. Damn, I gotta change these titles though. Let me see. This one was only 12, I mean 2 hours.
Million views and 100,000 likes. Do we understand
The
what I
brain
mean?
rot,
They are
man.
not living in
I was on the phone for most of this shit.
true.
Mhm. Yeah. What? Nah, I was on the phone for most of this one. Nah, that's a waste, yeah. You can hurt your back and shit too, yeah. Look, check out my truck, me boy. This is what I be riding. Whatever. I'm not gonna upload this one. I'm not gonna upload this one because the homie was on the phone the whole time, basically. I was talking. What's this one?
Where your boy be going out in the Heights?
What you said?
Cold from here.
That's not bad.
His body. Like what?
What the fish?
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Niggas be stay calling me, bro.
Huh?
She's like,
Proof shit from my fucking shit already better. I know I've been saying this.
12 a.m. That's
you said have a good day with the free kits. Raise it up, lower it down. This is when I bought my first supercar or hypercar, whatever they call this shit. I'm gonna say
The car driving. It's probably the radio control.
from no. What should I title this one? How do I open this trunk? Fuck.
I wanna race this bitch now.
No. I know what I'm titled. Pro. Fuck. Truck. Driver.
Let me fix this.
Pro fucker truck driver.
Put up a little bit more.
Plus.
It's already ridiculous fast, but we're gonna make it even more stupendous, ridiculous. Fuck how fast you are.
Pro fucker truck driver plus.
Shit, nice. Let's see how we upgrading this shit. Oh no, not too many.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna just call it Pro fucker truck driver because that's what I was doing in the majority of this video. Juhard. So let's save. Let's publish. And let's move on to the next video. What's this one?
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Of course,
So in
what's
terms
it
of
under?
longevity and
Into the hobby. It's really not that deep. I'm pretty sure it's the.
And you get incredible force feedback for that price.
with these two nuts, you can bring it up, bring it down.
So yeah, you peripheral support.
Oh, this is when I got my wheel.
I appreciate
Oh,
it.
so I was playing BeamNG without a wheel? I don't even remember that. I was playing BeamNG without a wheel. Oh, wow. Y'all can't even see what the fuck I'm looking at.
Thank you.
Good
looking. But you was eating the bloody punans or no?
This unboxing is gonna be on my channel, man.
I eat bloody punan's ass, like, nigga, it don't matter to me, like.
Nah.
But you do or you don't like that ass?
He just said he do.
I never did that bad. If niggas wanna jack
what I was
it,
gonna
then
say?
jack it, like, the fuck, it don't make no difference to me.
Uber.
Oh, if you did it, you did it. Like, that's it, bro.
Oh, you on your grown man shit. Mine.
Like, I piped on, like, the last day of the period, and there's, like, barely any blood, like.
Why are you making the stories? How did you
That ain't nothing, nigga. I dogged her shit and when she wasn't on her period and fucking she started
I can't
bleeding,
lift my
nigga. Like,
camera
fucking
over
choking on,
eats.
nigga. I
Nah.
ruptured her fucking cervix, nigga.
Fuck.
I don't think that's what you did.
Nigga, that's 1,000% what I did.
Fuck. Crazy
Nah, but
part
what you
is
told
this is
us
all
when you
going
was
in my
vulnerable,
package
though.
open. It's going on my
So
YouTube.
Ephraim is the ops?
Nigga, just like.
You told Ephraim you ate bloody box when you was vulnerable. Like I don't get it.
Why would you ever?
Other two correlate, you feel me? Like one got to do with that other.
Moza.
Well, we going
Good,
we
Ariel.
going to the Banya tomorrow.
Yo, thank God this shit was
So
a
y'all
good,
niggas
bro.
can't be ops.
Oh my
I'm good
God.
on
I
that.
ordered a Moza.
Nigga said mine.
Why, you changed your mind?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why?
Nigga, cause I forgot about that, but now I record that.
That ass?
Yeah.
So just forget about that again.
I ordered mine. Let me
So
see.
you're not jacking that nigga no more?
Nah, I ain't jacking that nigga. Like, if niggas wanna go do some
I
good
ordered
shit, then
my
whatever.
Moza
Like,
R5.
ABC,
I
I'm good
can't
on
even
that.
hear myself think, bro. I ordered my Moza R5 Racing Sim steering wheel steering wheel off of Uber Eats. Did you heard? I ordered my Moza R5 Racing Sim steering wheel off of Uber Eats. Did you heard? No. Plus unboxing. Plus unboxing. Did you heard? Alright. Save changes. I want that to be my thumbnail. That was a perfect thumbnail right there. Let me see. I'm not just seeing it. This one. Was this one it? Yeah. Alright, whatever. This is gonna have to do. Because I'm not gonna make a custom one. We good. Save changes. I ordered my Moza R5 Racing Sim steering wheel off of Uber Eats plus unboxing. You heard? Alright. What else we got here? What else we got here? Shout out EBK, J Bo. I mean, not J Bo. That's Young Jock.
I'm terrible at
Maybe like an hour less.
Yeah, half hour.
See, that's.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's more.
He not in the morning at Breeze Con.
So he's like, yo, listen, I consider being the way that people who will just go on like a
get actually violated
in the lead up to Crip Mag because
possible.
It's kind of astounding that this.
What? It's a lot of shit.
I'm sure you good looking. You're welcome.
I don't even want.
No, did it?
I had to be like, listen, I did that shit too.
Way, but last time, what's it? They killed it. Was kind of.
We're gonna title this one.
No, hot.
Right. So that's my reason to not fight you. Language, but with different characters. We don't even have the same.
No, and
going
for sure,
straight to the resort, bro.
And we engage that, but like, I see both perspectives.
We're gonna name this one attempting to learn how to use attempting to learn how to use my new steering wheel. Because that's what this video was, really.
Yeah,
The
Adams
whole
and
fuck
Spartans
out.
and
Live stream was me getting frustrated with this shit.
Disability shot the dude outside of the strip club.
Who was you on the other end of this phone? You talking about you just take this money and ain't that kind of weird?
No, what it be is people be buying
They buy the debt.
Yeah, they buy your debt.
I heard you should never pay a collection agency because that won't fix the car.
Nah.
Well, they do
Whipping
offer
it.
because like it's funny because one of the companies are all money. That shit. So funny you said that it went from you owe 50 bands to like hey you can consolidate the debt for. I recently got a text that said $3,000. I'm still not paying their ass.
It's crazy. Whipping it with my new steering wheel.
Bro, I used to do mad hospital visits whenever I had a staph infection or a broken bone or whatever. I would just go. You got your ID? Nah. What's your name? Make some shit up. Make up a social security number and work every time. For real?
How was you getting staph?
I'm about to ask that shit. Great question.
I got a bunch of staph infections when I was training jiu-jitsu, but it seemed like a bad thing that I was doing a lot of cocaine at the same time. Because one time I got a staph infection like inside my nose. That was probably the grossest fucking thing I ever seen.
Nice. All right, Adam.
I ain't had one.
I was about to say you went to the county before.
Whipping it with the new steering wheel, you heard?
Nah, but you know who we should talk about who's in the county?
Alright. Public. What's this one?
Yeah.
Right. On set to
Damn,
get on.
I'm one
that happening. When he
sexy
told me he was
ass
about to
nigga,
do
bro.
that,
Not that my brother's like one of
Like,
there's a
damn.
wig.
the doctor. Look,
You
Let's
found?
scroll down a little bit.
Oh, I was gonna ask you. You got your seatbelt on, right? So
Yeah, but no, if I didn't have my shit on, I probably wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. I would have been dead. I would have
damn,
went right through the windshield.
you have not showed me any photos of like. I ain't gonna lie, I'm one handsome ass nigga, gang. You already know the fuck I vibes, nigga. Fuck you talking about, nigga. Fuck our handsome, fuck our young fella right there, man. Fuck is you talking about? Holy hell. Just look at
Bro,
me,
he
I'm
was going
drippy, bro.
60.
What? You see
The
the
only
fuck
thing that was
I...
messed up in my mother's car was
Hey, look at the drip, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? You see the $4,000 glasses. You see the fuck I... What is this, like? Probably like 10 grand in fuck our chains right there, me boy. You see the $3,000 watch busting. You see the Supreme. You see the Casablanca. You see the Pokemon drip. You see, come on, son. I'm one fly ass, sexy ass, Boricua ass nigga. You heard? The fuck is you talking? I ain't gonna lie. I just love looking at myself. Like what? I'm a fuck our boss, nigga. Fuck is you talking about, nigga? Holy, I got like half your year's rent on my body, nigga. Fuck is you talking? Nice. I got half these niggas' year's rent on my body, nigga. Nah, let me stop. Let me be humble.
trunk door and the bottom.
But I'm
bumper,
one
that's
good
it.
looking motherfucker.
What
No
car
wonder
she
my
got?
wife chose.
Oh, the
No
Honda
wonder
Civic.
no wonder why my wife chose up. You heard?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, that shit's nice. I love that car. I ain't gonna lie.
What a handsome motherfucker,
But
you
his
heard?
car, he totaled it.
Oh
He
man,
totaled his
I
car,
don't mean to
Jay.
toot my own
The
horn.
guy that hit
I don't mean
you're
to toot my own
disingenuous, you
horn.
made fun of it.
But
If
god
I
damn,
call
I'm
you a
handsome
man
as
by
fuck.
accident or whatever the fuck, what you are, a man.
God damn, I'm handsome as fuck. You heard?
Oh my god. Tomorrow is best. Oh.
This is when we started deep
Money equivalent to
diving
people
into
that
the.
make leap year get an extra
Yeah.
day. FYI, slicing a pizza. Oh god,
I don't
I
even remember
wonder
how
what
to spell his
slicing a
name.
pizza is.
Epstein.
So sorry, Jeffrey. These things happen when your body never had a chance to properly heal.
Deep dive.
So it came out in the toilet and I didn't know what to do, so I just flushed the tiny little fetus.
Epstein Files deep dive. That's how you spell Epstein, right? Oh, I'm dyslexic as fuck. I'm dyslexic as fuck. Epstein Files deep dive. Damn, I'm one handsome ass nigga. I love this fit, bro. This fit is fire on me. Fuck. I'm about to change right back to that fit. Nah, but today we got the Supreme. You see the Supreme me? We got the Supreme. New York fitted cap. Come on, son. Got the fuck out Jewels bussin'. Got the Jewels bussin' still, Jawar. Got the fuck out glasses. My watch is charging right now, but you know, we Gucci, man. We Gucci.
Is this
I want
why?
fuck out fly
is this
nigga,
why
Jawar.
abortion is-
I want handsome fly
Is this
motherfucker,
why
Jawar.
abortion is
Anyways,
legal? Think about it.
back to being humble.
They
Back
could
to
be
being humble. Like
collecting
like baby
feces-
baptisms.
feces- ugh. They could be collecting fetuses.
Epstein Files deep dive.
Undocumented fetuses.
It
Shit, bro.
gets
Yo, bro,
wicked.
this is all too much. This is all too much for me, bro. I can't. My head is starting to boom. This is crazy.
This is worse than Elden Ring.
I'm one fly ass, handsome ass niggas, you heard? No wonder my wife chose up, you heard? Any woman out there jealous of my wife, I already know, I understand. You'll get one day, you heard? You'll find you a man one day, you heard? Oh, man. You see, here I don't like this fit, but this was like my golfing fit and shit. I had to throw this shit on because, you know, I had an interview. We had to look proper. I had to go to this interview, man. But I still look good. Fuck you talking about?
Oh, we back.
Fuck
We
is
got
you
back
talking
from an important interview.
He was
Governments getting
talking about how we respond to an incursion into NATO air.
British time, right? See, yeah.
Please get into my building, please.
Somebody at his level.
Yourself.
Well,
This one is
if
gonna
they
be
didn't-
named Europe is so effed.
The words you. I mean,
Oh my God. Back with another.
Flint, the minute I did some shit like
Show that on stream. That's crazy.
doing a favor to the Palestinians or to anyone. But even within the borders of
I'm eating the hamburger.
And I tried the burger, the chicken.
$16. Okay.
Bites.
Any of these accusations are true.
Right,
If anything
true.
comes of it that's actually true, I imagine or I hope that some investigative
Of
journalist
course.
figures it out. Or
Baby. You here?
You at a Jeffrey Epstein party, someone specifically mentioned that you were sweating at that party. We remember you sweating there. Stations. Then
Yeah,
why,
I've never
why
seen
is
him
he only
shaking like
shaking
that.
now? He doesn't shake another time. Now he shakes? Get out of here, bro. What are we talking about, dude? Are we insane? Yeah, you're right. He's not the greatest, history's greatest pedophile. They didn't make a religion out of him like some other pedophiles. But anywho, these people are getting obliterated. Like,
I must have sending shots to
Look at that
Muhammad over there.
fuck, I
Oh my God.
smiles, you heard? Look at that smile. I'm on the
funny
internet.
actually annihilated in their parliament in England.
Does the Prime Minister have full confidence in Peter Mandelson?
Mr. Speaker, let me start by saying the victims of Epstein are the forefront of our minds.
No, they're not, you absolute.
If that was the case, why didn't you just give up the emails and let them disclose that shit?
That's right. What you are saying.
Talking about how we respond to
Terrifying. But the reality is they are trying so hard, and this is crazy. So Keir Starmer, now this is a crazy twist, behind the scenes tried to block the release of Epstein files.
What?
That's right. Now all of a sudden all the lipdards are shaking. Now they're all scared.
The question is that Amendment A be made, since when an amendment to the amendment has been proposed as follows. That amendment, at the end of the Amendment A, and which shall instead be referred to the Intelligence and Security Committee of Parliament, the question is the amendment be made and proposed amendment
Yo, what
be
did
made.
this nigga
And
say?
that opinion,
Yeah, I do not understand what the fuck he's saying, bro. Can we get an American to talk for these? I'm sorry, but they call that proper English? Are they fucking dumb, stupid, or retarded? Like, how do you call that proper English? What?
Facts. How do you call that proper English? The fuck?
What the fuck did he just say, bro? That is not proper English, bro. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here.
say aye. The gods read no. I think the ayes.
And the scary part is everybody understood him. What the fuck? Am I the only one? What did he just say, bro?
Am I the only one delusional? Word. What the fuck was he saying? Yo, bro. Oh my God.
Now voted to overturn that move. The result is independent adjudication on what can and can't be released. Transparency just won for now. So
I'm trying to come up with new and incredible ways to murder people in England when they're old and they need assistance dying. I'm trying to push ethical murder. Okay, and you want me to talk about pedophiles? I mean, yes, quite literally, that makes a lot of sense. After all, lust and wrath are 2 of the 7 deadly sins. In fact, they are also 2 of the 10 commandments. So this is perfect, right? The anti-God party, once again, tries to find a way to get even worse.
Both, I mean, primarily for the people who are affected by it. So I'm afraid I won't go there.
You're not going to comment at all?
Not going to comment at all.
speak for at least 5 minutes about assisted dying, and I do think...
No, I'm not going to comment at all. I'm really sorry.
Oh, painful.
Is that because of you've had a conversation with him and
No,
he's concerned?
I want the...
My boss, Epstein, I'm sorry, Mandelson, sorry. Keir Starmer told me not to talk about it.
Focus to be on assisted
We did
dying.
talk about that for at least 5 minutes, and we went through in quite
It's
a lot of detail.
I'm really sorry.
I thought that I might be able to convince you to at least say something, because of course you were there in the moment in the
I'm really
Lords when
sorry.
he sat down.
This is
Are you embarrassed
painful.
by what's happened here?
I'm not remotely a bit embarrassed, but I really do want to focus on assisted dying.
We have talked about that. I was going to ask you another couple of questions on it. Have you spoken to Mr. Mandelson about this? I know you're a friend of his.
I'm sorry. Can we leave the focus on Mandelson and go to assisted dying?
We started on assisted
Rick,
dying.
England in shambles.
These are the people that say Trump
Yup.
is a fascist.
That's gonna be my title. I'm literally gonna just steal his shit. England is in shambles. Or fuck. Actually, and I'm gonna put plus chill rise. You are. England is in shambles. Plus chill vibes. Fox plus chill vibes. You heard? There's always fuck out chill vibes. You heard? England has fallen, me boy. England is in shambles. Plus chill vibes. Save changes. Publish. What's this one? Yeah, I got mad content on my channel, bro. Holy. The only thing is these fucking videos delete, bro. I gotta start downloading these videos. See, one more day to this one. Which one is this?
Prior about this stuff, I'm gonna say this is a Prismatic Evolutions bang bang.
I was literally talking.
This is the real robber here.
Years. I don't know how long.
Yeah, fucking 0.97.
I open it, or should I keep it sealed?
350.
Sun and Moons team up a very.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Why would you buy this for 350?
I'm thinking. Yeah, because if I start uploading all these shits to YouTube, that shit gonna take mad time. Let me see. If I export, and that shit's gonna make my stream lag, I bet, right? If I export all these videos, let's see. Make it private for now. Nah, fuck that. Make it public. We don't go fuck. Start export. Let me see. Does that slow down my computer? It shouldn't, honestly, because it's working over the internet. Start export. Start export. Start export. Start export. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna just start uploading all my shit to YouTube. Fuck it. Yeah, I don't know which one I'm up to now. Shit. Export. 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 Down to this one. Export. Down to this one. Export. England is in shambles. Export. Alright, let's see what's these about. I'm one wavy ass nigga, you are. One wavy ass nigga. Look at me. Holy. Niggas wish they was fly.
He knows a way around a little bit of dancing, though. I'll tell you.
We're not even going to describe.
Like, why is niggas wish they was fly like me, you heard?
That is not a normal way to say that. Imagine your friend gets a hold of you and they say, hey dude, you want to go get a pizza for about an hour? Like, what? What does that mean? This one is in a long chain of emails, so I'll spare you from me reading the entire thing.
Like, what is wrong with this shit, bro?
It's been discredited and debunked, but no one will ever.
No, 2030. Hold on. I'll be raised in a country
where you
interference. And the interference is he talked about how they're Islamic.
Guess what we wasn't slapping in the bay? Guess what they wasn't slapping in the bay? No jerk music.
Yes, they were. We were getting paid out there, bro. You're lying. You're a damn liar.
So that can't be true.
You're a liar.
What do you mean they from the bay?
But that's jerk music. The pack.
Bro, we were getting money out
jerk
there.
music.
Listen, bro, hold on, listen. Niggas was playing Gorilla Zoe and jerking the Gorilla Zoe.
Yeah, that too.
So like, bro, you ain't just put it on the bay.
But I didn't say
it was a certain frequency of the sound, bro.
Wait, who started the jerking movement?
Me.
I know.
Oh, exactly. And it did not come from the bay.
No Bay Area.
And it did not come. No, not at all.
This reminds.
Damn, how the hell I had the podcast louder than my own?
You know what? I respect you, and I ain't going.
Bro, listen, the first jerking song came from a Snoop Dogg beat that you wanted. I got it dripping like water. Nigga, we remade the beat.
And so did E40 when he sampled it before that shit. 3 years before that.
Okay, but nigga, I wasn't listening to 40.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Politics.
I was slightly younger because look, Tay's a couple years older than me, so I wasn't hip to everything that was going on. But I ain't gonna lie, when I was hearing these D-Los and all this young, I thought they was from here.
Yeah, they got it from
everybody I
Tay
knew who was jerking here sounded like that.
That shit did not come from up there at all. Fool. That shit came from local parties. Niggas wanted to be in parties and turn up because niggas was tired of wearing khakis and looking at low riders.
Wait, what year did you come out with your first?
2028. I mean, I'm sorry, 2008.
Okay, and the hyping movement was already pretty much.
It don't matter. I don't give a fuck about no hyping movement. That shit did not influence nothing that we was doing.
I mean,
nigga, it was me, YG, and PC. Nigga, none of them was influenced by them.
And it's the same shit that Mustard said, and I still
You
say,
was influenced by them.
Hell yeah, I was up there
We
at
weren't.
the time. I was up there at the time.
We weren't though.
I was up there. I was a part of that shit.
Bro, fuck, I drive it. Hard. Publish. Export. Alright, what's this one? What is wrong with my fucking OBS, bro? Oh yeah, I ended this one short. Shit, we could delete this.
This shit. Putin was exposing Zelensky.
So they don't even
for having fucking Nazi family out. You can't do God's work and just destroy his creations, bro. And that's what these people are quite literally doing. They're doing
federal court in New York State that assert.
That's different.
National. I'm heading down to Richmond.
You really think these 20 cops is gonna fucking risk their life joining?
I know what I'm gonna title this one. Deep dive into the alt-right. Deep dive into the alt-right. We don't jack races. We don't jack races. What should I call them? Races. We don't jack races. Deep dive into the alt-right. We don't jack races, POSs. No, we don't jack races. That's a pricks. Johar. I gotta spell it the funny way, Johar.
Deep dive into the alt-right. We don't jack racist. We don't jack racist pricks. You heard? Thanks. Yeah, I wish I could see this shit on orange, but I can't see it. Whatever. Deep dive into the alt-right. We don't jack racist pricks. Plus Epstein. Let me put this. Pause. Deep dive into the alt-right. We don't jack racist pricks. You heard? Plus Epstein files. Alright, save. Publish. Export. Alright, me boys, that's all the videos. Today, what we doing today? Just chill vibes? I don't know what we doing. Today is the Super Bowl, so I'm gonna be heading out of here pretty soon, probably like around 4 or 5. So it's not gonna be a long stream, but it's gonna be a good one. You heard? I guess we're doing more deep diving into the Epstein files. I don't know. I'm not gonna title it yet. Let me check my YouTube channel though. Make sure these shits are uploading. Where's my channel? Pimp of the year. That shit did numbers, okay. I'll do more pimp of the year. Let me see what's my studio. Where is my studio? I bet these are all uploading. That's good. That's a lot of content, me boy. I'm uploading to YouTube in one shot. Did I make it public? I think I made these public. I should have made them private so I could like separate them. Fuck. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. This dude is actually lit. How I heard his music before I seen this interview. This fucking dude is actually fire. I like his music. CarX Drift. What's this? I gotta find a new game to play. No lie.
I wish I knew how to fuck I drift. This shit is hard. I'm actually starving right now. Oh, I'm fucking hungry. I need something to watch. Alright, let's see what happened with this fucker.
Oh boy, lots to talk about today. Insane new evidence that Epstein might still be alive somehow. Unbelievably, bro is actually just Pete Palpatine. It's insane. Bill Clinton is on his way to testify in Congress. Netanyahu responded to the Epstein connection allegations. European politicians are dropping flies in connections with Epstein, ironically, even though seemingly no one in America is affected. Kind of weird how that happened. And finally, Tyler Oliveira snuck on Jeffrey Epstein's island, and we're definitely going to be looking at that. Oh, and also, let me just remind you that Jeffrey Epstein won a lottery, so everything is actually rigged. That's right, the conspiracy theorists, they were right all along. So, last time I covered this giant conspiracy that this is Jeffrey Epstein and he's just wandering around in Israel. This is AI. There were Israeli street signs in the uncropped image, clearly showing it's AI. AI-generated image using Gemini. Yeah, we know, yada yada. But what about this? What about his Fortnite account? I know, that seems pretty odd, but there's an account, Littlest Jeff1 over here, that is actually Jeffrey Epstein's Fortnite account. Quite literally, we found in the Jeffrey Epstein files that were released by the government, the login to his Fortnite account, which has been active playing Fortnite, of course, in Israel recently. And by recently, I mean very recently. In fact, playing a lot of Fortnite. Suspiciously, not a lot while he was in prison, but right now, a lot of Fortnite. Based on the current thing, whatever, Season 4 was launched 2025. The game is now in Chapter 7, and they're still playing. And he's just still playing Fortnite. This literally just went live again, playing Fortnite while this is all going on. Now, just to be clear, the official Fortnite denies that, hey, official Fortnite here. This was a ruse by a Fortnite player a few days ago. Existing Fortnite account owner changed their username to the Jeffrey Epstein name. Following the revelation, right? Yes. Okay. Now, to be clear, this could be true. This could completely be true. Honestly, it's totally sounds like something someone would do. All in all, pretty diabolical, insane situation. To think that this guy's still alive. I mean, his tattoo vanished on his corpse, and I mean, like, his nose changed shape when he was dead, allegedly. But yeah, probably insane that he's alive. Anyway, what else did Fortnite say? We have no record of the subject's email addresses referenced in the public document existing in the Fortnite Epic account system. Oh, but that's a lie, because this account literally has been paying for V-Bucks on Fortnite. Oh, so yeah, maybe it's possible someone changed their name, but like, but then they lied. So that's a little suspicious as shit. I don't know. Is that just me? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I think that's weird. Other weird conspiracy theories. Look, man. Maybe the Goyim are going crazy, or maybe they're onto something. All right. That's all I want to say. All right. So what is happening with this, bro? Epstein's Island shaped like the Nickelodeon logo.
What the fuck?
I mean, really, bro? Come on.
Or did the Nickelodeon logo make it shaped like his?
Nickelodeon stands for I don't care about God in Latin. That's probably a coincidence that this entire satanic pedophile cabal that...
No fucking way. I grew up watching Nickelodeon, gang.
I grew up watching Nickelodeon. That shit literally means I don't care about God. Yo, they brainwashing the masses,
Eats
bro. That's
babies or whatever the
crazy.
hell they do on their free time is also shaped on an island that looks like the Nickelodeon logo. Nah, it's a coincidence. Lots of coincidences, guys. Just nothing to see here. Moving on. Oh, wait. Nickelodeon literally employed 5 convicted pedophiles
That's crazy.
making TV shows for kids. Oh. Well, that's weird. That's probably also a coincidence. Add it to the coincidence board.
Add
New
it to the
achievements,
coincidence.
Billions of coincidences. Very funny how this keeps happening. But this is not a coincidence. This is probably the scariest whistle blow that I have seen in regards to Jeffrey Epstein might still be alive. So this is referring to after Jeffrey Epstein seemingly killed himself and they transported his body. They were with Epstein's body secured at the scene. Blank remained with blank and blank until personnel from the Office of Chief Medical Examiner arrived to transport Epstein to their facility. Pay attention to this, man. Due to the large news media presence outside the MCC, a male Acme official called and said he would be arriving at the loading dock with a black vehicle. In order to thwart the media, blank, blank, and blank used boxes and sheets to create what appeared to be a human body. This is literally this is official. This is an official statement, all right, from this that was released in the Epstein files, which was put into the white Acme vehicle, which the press followed, allowing the black vehicle to depart unnoticed with Epstein's actual body. So they literally sent a dummy truck with a fake body that the press would follow while they took the real body somewhere else. Seemingly, they're complaining. Oh, we don't want the press to bother us. Yeah, all right, dude. Get the frick out of here, man. No way, dude. This is literally starting a spiritual war in our country. All right, I don't think people are fully aware of exactly what is being awoken right now. The fact that we have basic confirmation that we actually have like a pedo cabal ring running societies, pushing every single left-wing cause of all time, from mass migration to planning the vaccines ahead of time to planning a quarantine situation to a virus that didn't exist yet. This guy was pushing trans surgeries. Like, this is unbelievable. This is waking everyone up to the fact that we are quite literally being dominated by this little cabal of far-left, anti-God, hateful retards that are, I mean, who knows? I don't know, man. Are they still alive? Are they not alive? Are they just running defense for each other? Well, we'll see, because Bill Clinton is going to trial. I have called for the full release of the Epstein files. Yeah, now you did, because you're going to jail. I have provided a sworn statement of what I know. Just this week, I've agreed to appear in person before the committee, but it's still not enough for the Republicans and the House Oversight Committee. Now, Cameron Cormer says he wants cameras, but only behind closed doors. Who benefits from this arrangement? It's not Epstein's victims who deserve justice. Like you care. Oh my God. Epstein had a painting of this guy in his living room. Not the public who deserves the truth. It serves only partisan interests. This is not fact-binding. It's pure politics. This is unbelievable, dude. I will not sit idly as they use me as a prop in a closed-door kangaroo court. By a Republican Party already scared. If they want answers, let's stop the games, do it the right way in a public hearing. The American people can see for themselves what it's really about. Now, to be clear, I also want there to be a public hearing. I guess the idea the other way is you don't want this dude to just say a whole lot of shit and just make infinite fuel for the retards to throw, but I disagree with that stance. I absolutely think that this should be public. I think we should broadcast it, and I would love to make content out of it. Definitely do this. I'll be reacting to it. Definitely subscribe. I cover all the shit, I should have you know. The reality of the matter is this dude took 26 private planes with Epstein's onto his island, okay? This dude went there without his Secret Service. He went there without his actual bodyguards, all right? This dude, in my opinion, all right, this is not an allegation, this is an opinion, is guilty as fuck. And also, I am not suicidal, all right? Nancy Mace tweeted, looking forward to deposing in a few weeks. Let's start with an easy one. Who's the woman in the hot tub with you? Was she underage or trafficked? Which is a diabolical question, and they have nothing like this on Trump, let me remind you, even though everyone on the left is making believe this is a Trump issue. Even Moist Critical dropped a video yesterday saying, this is a Trump issue! My guy, what are we even talking about? This is unfathomable levels of coping. He shows up in the email 38,000 times. Yeah, he's colluding with Democrats to try to prevent Trump from getting elected. What are we talking about? That said, there is some sweepy going on in the Trump administration. I'm not going to lie. Absolutely. We are definitely trying our best to keep... We as in the retards in the administration are trying our best to sweep this under the rug, not talk about it. That's absolutely a fact. Not going to deny that. I think that there's people compromised on both sides. It's just without a shadow of a doubt, a radical left policy team that has been pushing every single piece of bullshit propaganda and retardation throughout the world for years, which is why Europe is falling apart. Quite literally. Breaking news. Epstein scandal is taking down Europe's political class while the U.S. is getting a pass. It's almost like, and I know this is going to sound controversial or anything, it's almost like there is literally nothing actionable on Trump yet. That's just a fact. It's an objective fact. You might dislike that. You might say it's edited. It's not edited. It's redacted. They didn't release those files. Maybe. I don't know. But I believe in innocent until proven guilty, and we had nothing there. So while these guys are scrambling, making believe that this is like some sort of smoking gun, ironically, it's just destroying the leftoids across the world. While this dude bluffs out of his ass. Dog, we saw what Pizzagate. We saw the computer. Did you know that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton have like 30 friends that allegedly committed suicide? All right, like, what are we talking about, dude? Yes, killed with 15 gunshot wounds to the back of the head, ruled a drowning. Yeah, all right, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just so tired of this game. Like, it's unbelievable. I feel like we're really not, it's not even fair. The world is rigged. Yeah, it's just diabolical. Now, anywho, important to note, Netanyahu has been celebrating ever since these Epstein files were released. This is, in my opinion, one of the crazy twists. This is a tweet from Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, from 2019. 2019, bro made this post, all right? Because Jeffrey Epstein was besties, it seems, with Ehud Barak, radical left-wing Prime Minister of Israel that was giving away Israeli land to Arabs in the neighborhood, all right? Like, so that guy, and also pro-mass migration, radically anti any sort of right-wing conservative idea, all right? Ehud Barak, radical leftist, not religious whatsoever. And literally no one saw this coming, but bro's been begging to have the Epstein files released forever, which I'm totally surprised about. It's actually insane. And Netanyahu just made this tweet yesterday. Jeffrey Epstein's unusual close relationship with Ehud Barak does not suggest Epstein worked for Israel. It proves the opposite. All right, so I'm just going to call cap. Okay, I'm just going to say, listen, bro, that's bullshit. What are you talking about? It definitely doesn't prove the opposite. All right, it absolutely does not prove the opposite. True, Ehud Barak was a radical left-wing Israeli prime minister, but he was an Israeli prime minister that definitely was in charge of very, very high up in the Mossad for a very long time. So, you know, we could argue semantics, but this is definitely hyperbolic. Anywho, stuck on his election loss from over 2 decades ago, Barak has for years obsessively attempted to undermine Israeli democracy by working with the anti-Zionist radical left and failed attempts to overthrow the elected Israeli government. So, since I assume most people don't actually understand Israeli politics, I will explain to you that in this case, he is completely correct. You know, all the retards in America shouting and screaming that we want democracy, Trump is a fascist, we have to kill him because we love democracy so much. So even though he was voted for, we have to get rid of him because we love democracy, right? So same thing's been happening in Israel with the same organized, paid-for protests, all right? The same idiots marching down the streets with the same slogans and the same chants. And Ehud Barak, radical leftist, former prime minister of Israel and best friend of Jeffrey Epstein, notorious prolific pedophile, is one of the people leading this charge to essentially scream, we love democracy, and therefore we need mass migration to convert. This was Ehud Barak's genius plan with Jeffrey Epstein. We just need to convert a whole lot, like a few 100,000 Russians to Judaism and import them into Israel to vote for left wing. Does that not sound exactly like the classic leftoid bullshit throughout the entire Western world? Barak's personal fixation led him to engage in activities publicly and behind the scenes to undermine the government of Israel, including fueling mass protest movements, fomenting unrest, and feeding the false media narratives. So the reality is the majority of this tweet is actually correct. All right, so a lot of people don't actually understand Israeli politics, but what he's saying here is actually right, except for this part where he says it proves the opposite. That's just absolutely bullshit. There's no denying that Ghislaine Maxwell, all right, Epstein's right-hand woman, her dad was seemingly a Mossad agent, all right? Like, there's no way around the connection. In my personal opinion, Jeffrey Epstein was connected to every single intelligence agency. He was definitely connected to the FBI. We know that for a fact. He was connected to the CIA. In my opinion, he was probably connected to the Mossad, the MI6, and the French intelligence as well. He had passports to every country all over the world, all right? And he was pushing radical left agendas everywhere. And I think it affected everyone. I think it affected Israel negatively, just like I think it affected America and Europe, which is why Europe is falling apart right now. All right, everyone's expecting Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of England, to resign next week. I made a video on that a couple days ago, but he is essentially working hand in hand with all of Epstein's besties to import the third world, to rape his country. It's honestly incredible. So yeah, the big twist here is that, ironically, the Epstein files super vindicated Netanyahu, of all people. You know, there were lots of tweets, lots of emails like this, where Jeffrey Epstein specifically said, I do not like Israel at all. You know, he specifically said, only the Israelis raised a warning about the Maxwell Epstein targeting teenage girls. All right. Ironically, and I think that if anyone was actually good faith and wanted to look into this properly, we would agree that he was some sort of globalist operative directly pushing radical left agendas from COVID to mass migration to transgenderism throughout the world, and he was a blight to literally everywhere he touched. Either that or, well, it was the Jews. Realistically, I think both are equally valid analyses, and I feel like we should be looking into both equally. Nah, bro, but these woke Jews, these guys are diabolical. I don't know, it's insane. All right, we got Soros, we got this guy, Epstein. I don't know, bro. We got to do something, bro. The Goyim are onto something. That's for sure. And the flip side, and I feel like this is also important to note, the fact that Netanyahu said that Epstein didn't work for Israel does kind of make it sound like Epstein worked for Israel. But hey, that's just a theory, a conspiracy theory that I'm sure someone is totally bought into at this point, even though they literally probably just don't understand Israeli politics at all. Could we please release all the files and unredact the names? Because everyone that raped a kid, I want them to die. After a court case, obviously. You know, stuff like that. So anyway, speaking of people who don't understand politics at all, we got to talk about Sneako. All right, so Sneako, he's a guy, he grifted all his way into converting to Islam. And he's having a whole crash out about how Epstein is obviously some secret Jewish Mossad operative, which, I mean, understandable. And he says... he releases this email from Maxwell, okay? It is the year 2032. A father and his son walk the streets of Lower Manhattan, approaching with the site of where the World Trade Center used to be at the end of the 20th century. The father sighs and comments, to think that right here used to be the Twin Towers. The son, not understanding, asks his father, what are the Twin Towers? The father smiles and looks at his son and explains, the Twin Towers were two huge buildings that used to be here until 2001, when the Arabs destroyed them. The son looked up to his father and asked, and what are the Arabs? Essentially, Ghislaine Maxwell over here was literally fantasizing about genociding Arabs. That's pretty diabolical, I'm not gonna lie. So, anywho, so Sneako says, good morning, Goyim. Here's Sneako, Ghislaine Maxwell fantasizing about Arab genocide a month after 9/11. Excuse me, a month after 9/11? Did something happen on 9/11 that would make her fantasize this way? You mean to tell me, like, is this really supposed to, like, change everyone's view of everything? Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Here's Ghislaine Maxwell fantasizing about Arab genocide a month after. Oh, fuck, dude, stop with this shit. All right, we're moving on. Sneako's been having a terrible month. It's a fake Muslim, by the way. I thought this was important. Right, this is him eating pork.
That's crazy.
All right, chat obviously freaks out. Eating cock, W pork. Right.
Fogs, W pork.
Right, goes in for a second bite.
Stop.
Is he finally saying he don't give a shit about that Muslim shit?
Oh my god, it's pork.
Is it pork?
Oh my god.
Right there, yep. He says he can't hear either.
Dude, I can hear you now, can you hear me?
Oh, I sure can, brother.
Yeah, I just found out I just almost had pork by accident.
Almost.
You was literally munching this.
Yeah, his bad. Bro went to the website, clicked pork, you know, got pork delivered, ate pork, and it was all an accident. You know, honestly, honest to God, anyone can make this mistake. Except for the fact that it's straight up bullshit. Like, what are we talking about? First of all,
you
you're
know
retarded,
damn well
okay?
you ordered.
You're retarded. That's one. Two, it wasn't halal. It was definitely not halal. You did not order that from a halal
ordered that shit
restaurant.
from Applebee's.
Okay, like this dude's just fraud on top of fraud. So, you know, his whole audience is eating him up alive. It's pretty incredible. He did a whole political compass test, and he freaked the fuck out.
These days, openness about sex has gone too far.
And bro ended up authoritarian left. Look at his face. His face, dude.
Yeah, nigga, you can't be
authoritarian left. It's incredible because
Muslim
this
shit,
dude's LARPing as like a
right?
base right-wing guy forever, and he just ended up over there.
You don't even realize he's
Absolute
fucking
cinema,
dumb as fuck.
Again, it's the third world mindset. Third worldist, loses his mind at once a month. It's incredible. Now we got to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell, the
I seen
other
this
figure
video last
here,
night. I was like,
Epstein's
damn,
right-hand
this bitch.
whammon. They released footage like this.
Tight.
All right, this is
Can't do
footage of her in
nothing.
her cell.
Reading books.
And quite literally, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. But to be fair, she did
deserves it.
solicit, in my opinion, and I say that
deserves
because
it.
I don't want to get killed by accident with suicide or something. She did literally help facilitate the largest child sex operation.
Not only help, she participated. Some of the girls were saying she was participating in the acts. Like they will all be in bed together. That shit is sick.
Trafficking that we know of in modern history. I mean, I say modern history because we know that obviously, like very historically renowned figures like Muhammad were known to have raped a lot more children than Jeffrey Epstein. As an example, like just as a hypothetical, as an example. Obviously, times were different over there. I'm sure that people have.
This is why
have
we
all
don't
sorts
jack
of
that shit on the
explanations,
right.
but,
Oh, you go.
Jeffrey Epstein 1400 years ago, Sneeko might have prayed to that guy. That's pretty diabolical if you think about it. So anyway, so that's her. And you got a lot of people crashing out, being like, "Oh my God, this is so sad. This is not very humane." Holy fuck, these people
Are
are
you
so pathetic,
serious?
it's unbelievable. These
Like,
guys
how are
are
you supposed-
actually unbelievable levels
Like,
of
what the
pathetic.
fuck?
I cannot stand the sheep.
It's prison.
The sheep are unbelievably lame. All right, let's move on to the next
It's
one.
supposed to be fucking humane and nice and comfy.
Up the system. These people are unbelievably pathetic. Prison is supposed to be punishment, but it still shouldn't cross basic human rights. Two things can be true. These guys are like the lamest people of all time. These people suck. All right, so that's So anyway, this is how we manipulate retards into vote for retards.
These niggas is
Don't you have
literally
empathy? My
pedo
empathy is incredibly
sympathizers,
consistent.
bro.
I have empathy for the victims of this sex trafficking operation, just like I have empathy for the victims of the illegal migrants that come across the border, which is why I want the people that have committed both of those crimes to get their punishment. That's why I think we need to deport every single illegal alien, because why are we taking this chance? And that's why I think that I don't give a shit that she is wasting away her days, slowly but surely losing her mind. I honestly, quite literally, do not give a fuck. Yeah, absolutely. I don't care. I wish our taxpayer dollars didn't need to fund it. I mean, maybe we can give her the death penalty, but not for her sake. Death penalty would purely be for our sake. I don't like the idea that my taxpayer dollars are giving her food. Yeah, so anyway, never forget, though, in regards to Ghislaine Maxwell, never forget. Maxwell gave speeches at the United Nations related to women's rights while she organized the rape, torture, and murder of children and women for the pleasure of satanic rituals of the elites. Never forget. All right, this is who the UN looked to talk about women's rights. All right, just like the UN put Somalia in charge of women's rights. You know, Somalia, where 99% of women get genitally mutilated. All right, did you know that 99% of women in Somalia get genitally mutilated? All right, well, they're in charge of women's rights, so that's pretty awesome. But never forget that Ghislaine Maxwell was the person out there giving speeches about women's rights in the UN. Entire organization's a sham. The entire world is straight up being governed and pushed by these retards. All right, like, I'm tired. And you know, this dude in the background's on his phone texting with old Jeff at that time. That's a joke. I don't actually know if that's true. I'm not trying to slander this guy. I don't know. He's probably a horrible person by the fact that he's part of the UN, but like, I'm not going to say that like I actually know. Yeah, but no, this entire Epstein thing has been absolutely harrowing. Unbelievable. The fact that he might be alive somewhere, you know, scurrying around. The fact that he's been pushing all these radical left shits everywhere. The fact that he had connections to basically everyone. Both on the right and the left, don't get me wrong, but like 90% on the far left. His reach was astronomical, and he won the lottery. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. All right, let's look at his island. All right, so Tyler Oliveira snuck onto his island. That's not a place I would go. All right, headline, yo, I am, you know, like, no thanks. No, hate the headline. All right, Tyler was on Epstein's island. Nope, we're not going there. But anyway, let's see what he did.
That's me running towards the satanic temple of the evil billionaire Jeffrey Epstein on his private island swarming with security.
Oh my God. Dude, this dude had balls. That's crazy.
Shoot me if you dare! What are you hiding, Epstein?
Oh boy.
U.S. Virgin Islands. Epstein, where are you? So the first part of this scheme was to get our hands on 2 jet skis while being goofy tourist vloggers asking if there were any nearby islands we should take a look at while we toured the ocean. Should we go through Little James and Big James, or those no-nos?
No, don't go through there.
They'll shoot us. What will happen?
Do not go there.
I already saw this video.
It's privately owned.
Yeah.
By the government?
No,
I saw it on
What would
Anderson
happen?
Mission.
I thought we would ever do that. Giant sundial adjacent to it. Of the island, it was now time to infiltrate. here. And this is where I'm headed, forcing me to essentially sneak up a cliff to hopefully avoid
happening. To Elon Musk for having X, where we can actually talk about this shit. I just find it like ironic that every single piece of agenda that Epstein was pushing on his entire gigantic tirade against, you know, normal humans on the planet kind of inevitably was just anti-God policy, you know, from child castration to, you know, the mass migration, diluting your faith, pushing all this bullshit agenda. He was friends with every fucking executive and every media company on the planet to essentially propagandize people to whatever the fuck they wanted you to be thinking about. I hope we get answers. I hope we get justice. But ultimately, I hope that we can make the best out of the absolute nightmare situation that we find ourselves in, and recognize that evil can only exist if good exists. You know, ironically, I know this isn't the base Nux take everyone's excited for, but ironically, we all need to find God. We all need to do what we can in our own personal lives. It just feels so futile when the reality is you have like these elites out there that are, you know, they're industrially raping kids, right? With the entire world begging and pleading to get information about this, and, you know, governments and on both sides, just governments just turning blind eyes to this shit, and it is tiring. But no, it's not futile, all right? It's not futile. We're fighting the good fight. We're doing the Lord's work, and this is a game of winner take all. They're fighting for the end of civilization, but we got God on our side. So I have to say, despite all this absolute horrifying bullshit, I like our odds.
Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.
Stay weird, fam. Is these videos done uploading, man? Stay weird, fam. I wonder if these shits is actually working. It's not doing nothing. It's not showing me no progression. Man, I hope I ain't overdid it before these fuck out videos. Stay weird, fam. What's going on?
And location of the user up until September 10th, 2025, which is the day of the tragedy.
Can't go back. I hate these
Can you
fucking lives.
provide us some clarity on what were the impediments to finding, you know, the account user, and maybe describe in greater detail the FBI's work in that regard?
Generally speaking, yes, because I know even though the shooter's deceased, the investigation is, we're not done.
Sure.
And so the impediments to finding these individuals, and you highlight a great point. We had two huge tragedies in the span of days in this country. The school shooting in Evergreen, Colorado being one of them. And proactively going out onto these social media platforms, which are so large, is our biggest impediment. And we need to rely on the service providers. There's actual legislation, I can't remember the name of it, that's up for renewal, which will, and I think at the end of the month, which gives service providers the ability to report that information in from their end without liability. We need that to continue, because while the FBI has so many people and the police are great at doing it, there's just too many platforms to cover down on.
Well, I appreciate that, Director Patel, and I think we're certainly, I'm interested in continuing this conversation, because I think the reporting suggests that that there's a pattern, and that ultimately, we want to make sure that law enforcement is able to prevent this kind of tragedy from happening in the future. I have a question. It's not meant as a gotcha question, so it just frame it there. But it is in regards to some reporting around a periodic transaction report that you had filed earlier, this year. So this is in July, pursuant to the ethical obligations.
What happened?
You remember filing that in July?
Yes.
Go. So, in that report, as best as I can surmise,
Too
you
much shit you
disclosed
pay.
that you divested of, $100,000 or more in a variety of different stocks, which I presume was pursuant to the ethics agreement that you negotiated with the Department of Justice. In that same report, there's a disclosure regarding purchases of two different, two different transactions. So between $15,000 to $50,000 in a national coffee house chain, and between $50,000 to $100,000 in a semiconductor company on May 9th and May 12th. Are those transactions that you're doing personally, or are these through a stockbroker, or are these transactions that you're handling yourself?
So how they happen is I submit proposals under DOJ guidance to say, hey, I would like to trade this or that. They run their review, and the FBI runs a review, and then they come back and say yes or no, and then I make the transaction.
Is there a reason that you decided to make the purchases into those two companies?
Generally speaking, before I got this job, I was, trading stocks, but not a lot, like most people, and I just follow certain industries, and I thought they would be a good investment. To send up.
Thank you for being here with us today. Over the past few years, we have seen a disturbing increase of attacks on Christians and conservatives. Since the leak of the Dobbs decision, there have been 354 attacks on Catholic churches. In the first year following the leak, there were more than 100
These people was shooting in 720. Are you
pregnancy
shitting me?
care
It's
centers.
2026.
The
You can't get a
shadowy
better camera.
pro-abortion group Jane's Revenge claimed responsibility for 24 of these attacks. Meanwhile, the Biden FBI focused resources on attacking Catholics and peaceful pro-life protesters like Mark Houck and Paul Vaughn. Many of these attacks on Christians and conservatives were coordinated or praised by dark leftist cells who lurk on the online chat rooms of Reddit, Discord, and game sites. This is a war room for Antifa and violent transgender activists. There have been essentially no incidents of violence by Catholics, pro-lifers, or parents at school board meetings, but there have unfortunately been multiple shootings motivated by leftist and transgender ideology, including recent attacks in Nashville, Colorado Springs, Denver, and Aberdeen. Worse, the targeted violence reached a boiling point this past month. A few weeks ago, an anti-Christian transgender terrorist murdered 2 children and injured 17 in a shooting at a Catholic mass. And last week, while we were sitting in this committee room almost to the hour, Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a 22-year-old
We will never forget.
who appears to have been motivated by leftist and transgender ideology.
We will never forget.
As you confirmed yesterday to my Senate colleagues, he may not have acted alone, and you testified that in his online chat room of more than 20 trans ideologues that you were aware, I believe you said many more, many were aware of and possibly complicit in the assassination. Director Patel, in light of the increased violence emanating from the far left, is your FBI investigating this violent trend of anti-religious, Antifa, and transgender-driven violence?
All of it across the board is being zealously investigated, no matter what your motivation or bias is behind it.
Very good. We've also noticed a dramatic surge of the number of clinics offering so-called gender-affirming care. Whistleblowers in a recent NIH study confirmed that these clinics prey on some of the most mentally ill children and young adults in our society. And these clinics are quick to prescribe life-altering puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgery. And
This shit's
often
an abomination,
these
bro. I can't believe they
patients
doing
get
shit like
worse
this.
rather than
To
better.
kids,
And unfortunately, some have
mentally
become
ill.
violent. Some have even committed mass shootings. And the partner of one of them assassinated Charlie Kirk. Director Patel, is the FBI looking into the role that these gender clinics may have in the recent attacks in making these mentally ill individuals violent?
We're looking at the entire spiderweb for any of these attacks, be it Denver or Charlie or where have you. And that's why our investigations are ongoing. We don't have a final product yet.
One of my Democrat colleagues, as an aside, mentioned, quote, the federal takeover of our cities. And I don't know whether my Democrat colleagues, for some reason, liked Washington, D.C. better when it was more dangerous and
For
more
real.
violent, when there were
Fucking
more robberies
dumbasses.
and carjackings and murders and rapes. But what has the crime picture in Washington, D.C. looked like since the so-called federal takeover?
2,100 arrests, 37% decrease in violent crime, same time last year, 60% decrease in gun crimes, 74% decrease in carjackings, and 53% reduction in homicides in Washington, D.C. in the last month alone.
Damn. Holy shit. Them niggas was not playing games, bro. It's almost like if you arrest the criminals, violent crimes go down. What's these people is learning a new trick right now.
Very good. And I thank you so much for your testimony. I know it's been a long day, so I'll give you a little break and yield back the rest.
Gentleman yield.
My time.
Gentleman yield.
Yes.
Director Patel, what's a 302?
It's a report, the number of the report, whenever an FBI agent goes out and interviews someone.
And are you familiar with the 302 where the FBI agent interviewed the whistleblower who's come forward and talked about the former chair of the Intel Committee here in the House pushing staff members to leak classified information? Well, I'll just read from it. Staffers were instructed to use, this is from the 302, interview this person. Staffers were instructed to use any sources that had developed within the United States intelligence community to gather information, which would then be made public through the media in order to compel public opinion. You familiar with that?
I am.
Yeah, and that's how they played the game, wasn't it? Leaking information, classified or otherwise, true or otherwise, to create this public opinion to compel action to undermine the president. Is that accurate?
I believe so.
Just one other point I would make from this. This witness also said in the 302 that the agent recorded that the witness provided the interviewing agents with copies of both his handwritten notes and an email. So he gave them the stuff he wrote, and at the actual time this was taking place. That's all in the 302, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman from
Missouri. Mr. Chairman, I would like to submit for the record an article from The Hill, Massive Crime Drop in D.C., City Sees Zero Murder Week, dated August 25th, 2025. And I'd also like to submit for the record an article from the New York Times, dated April 18th, 2025. Man who set fire on Shapiro's mansion cited treatment of Palestinians, police say.
Yeah, thank you. Without objection.
I have
Gentlelady from
UC.
Texas and then Pennsylvania.
Thank you so much. My first UC is the FBIAA letter to Congress on summary terminations, where it states denying fundamental due process and summarily dismissing special agents will only make it harder to protect our nation.
Oh,
These actions
don't tell me
distract
this
agents from their
Crockett
work,
shit
foster
is here.
fear that their assignments could
This Crocker shit is here, bro. I thought we got rid of her. I thought we got rid of this Crockett shit, bro. What the fuck, gang? How she fucking crawled her way back, bro? I thought her district was like bye-bye. Like, what happened? How is she still here if her district is bye-bye? Holy shit, man. This fuck Crocker shit.
cost them their careers either now or under the next administration and increase the risk of criminal and national security threats by undermining unity and morale within the Bureau.
Without objection.
The next one is a CNN article. FBI agents are again pulled from their day jobs to address a Trump priority. It states, morale is the worst I've seen, said one law enforcement source. The Bureau is becoming unrecognizable. Lots of people are weighing really difficult decisions right now.
Without objection. Young lady from Pennsylvania is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd request unanimous consent to introduce into the record a September 16th, 2025 article in the New Republic entitled DOJ Quietly Deletes Study on Politics of Domestic Terrorists. The Justice Department has taken down a study that proves Republicans' entire narrative wrong about left-wing violence.
Without objection.
Thank you.
Gentleman from Washington is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Director, for being here.
I think without question we can say that Donald Trump has been tougher on crime and tougher on international terrorism than any president in American history. I imagine that brings you a lot of satisfaction and pride as director of America's foremost law enforcement agency. Recently, President Trump conducted very strategic and important strikes on Iran's nuclear apparatus in that country. We also know that there are concerns of significant Iranian sleeper terrorist cells here in the U.S., perhaps exacerbated by the open border during the Biden administration. What can you tell Congress and the American people about what the FBI is doing to safeguard us from potential terrorist attack by Iranian cells?
So our counterterrorism division, which is fully stocked up, watches for reflections in the intelligence streams that our intelligence community collects and produces, and works hand in glove with our partners at the CIA and elsewhere to make sure that any threat, even if it's hearsay, double hearsay, triple hearsay, or totally incredible, is not only fully run down, but we also take our duties to notify and give defensive briefings to those who are mentioned in those intelligence reports to make sure that we do both our notification obligation and our investigatory obligation.
Thank you. The FBI is also the foremost counterintelligence apparatus here in the U.S. We know the U.S. faces a more complex threat of global, more complex array of global threats than any time perhaps World War II or even superseding that time. As America continues to be under attack from various intelligence agencies globally, what can you tell us about the counterintelligence operations of the FBI as a core function?
This is why the CIA mission is so important to the FBI, because as you said, no one else can do it. No one else has the authorities to do it. And even if they did, they don't have the capabilities to do it. And the CIA mission has to be headquartered in Washington, but have far-reaching capabilities because we have to face against our adversaries in the DPRK, in Russia, China, Iran, and elsewhere. And in order to do that, we have to have dedicated intelligence professionals on those target sets. And since I become director, I've demanded not only a dismantling and disruption of networks, but a public display of how we're doing it so the world knows that our adversary is A, attacking us, and B, we're stopping them. And that's why you've seen these dramatic increases in counterintelligence arrests in the PRC by 33%, in Russia 83%, in Iran 60%. We are showing the world that they are trying to engage in espionage activities against us, and we are holding them accountable publicly.
And there's been increasing concern about the Maduro regime of Venezuela, both their potential support of terrorist activity, criminal drug networks, and potential espionage entities here within the U.S. What can you tell us about your activities regarding the Maduro regime of Venezuela?
Generally speaking, one of the largest shipment points for narcotics out of South America, Colombia, obviously, and also Venezuela, is being utilized heavily by the narco traffickers to send up cocaine, meth, and fentanyl, and excuse me, all the other illegal narcotics through the island chains in the Caribbean Ocean and ultimately for America. So there has to be more work done in the region to stop those navigable waterways from being traversed with drugs bound for America.
And finally, Mr. Director, what is the one thing that Congress could most do in terms of passing a law to best support the FBI in making America safer and more secure?
Get us more authorities to get online, to get onto social media companies, gaming platforms, have legal access, and also have private partnerships with the FBI of those companies and allow them to report into us on a daily basis. There is no human being or AI system on Earth that can go out there and cover down on the threat in those theaters. And so we need the assistance, and we need more authorities, and we need the private sector to double down.
Well, thank you very much for all you're doing, all the men and women of the FBI are doing to keep us safe. And I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Got a UC request from the gentleman from Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have an article titled, FBI Flooded with Record Number of New Agent Applications Kash Patel's First Month. The FBI saw 5,577 new agent applications in March and more than 10,000 since January.
Without objection. The gentleman from Kansas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Director, thank you for being here. I have listened carefully to all the discussion in this hearing. I've reached two top-line conclusions. First, I am glad I don't have your job. And second, I am glad you do. Thank you for being willing to step up and serve in this role. I'd like to plow a little bit of ground that we've not spent a lot of time on so far and explore. You mentioned, and I'm well aware of your strong commitment to partnering with state and local law enforcement authorities. Obviously, one of the missions is in the counter-drug space. Another is in the forensic laboratory space, where both you and a lot of local and state agencies cooperate in terms of evidence analysis. From the state side, programs such as the HIDA programs, very, very important in counter-drug, such as the Coverdell grants, very, very important in maintaining state laboratory capacities. Would I be correct in concluding that if we are able to maintain robust funding for those types of programs, including both Coverdell and HIDA, that would contribute to the safety of the United States and to your mission?
Absolutely.
Director, you have talked a little bit about some of the counter-drug work that you've been doing. One thing we haven't talked about yet, the President, in one of his first actions upon taking office back in January, designated a number of the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. That's not just a paper transaction. I believe the list has been expanded since those first actions. In terms of America's military engagement with the cartels abroad, in terms of our intelligence engagement with them abroad, that designation has had real meaning and has affected some of the thinking and approaches of our military and our intelligence community. Can you talk a bit about how that designation might be affecting or should be affecting the FBI's approach to dealing with the domestic activities of the cartels?
The simple way to analogize it is after 9/11 and the manhunt for the foreign terrorist organizations overseas in places like Afghanistan and Iraq, the FBI received certain authorities to go out there and dedicate a mission to go after them both lawfully and investigatorially and collect evidence and provide it to our agency partners. Once the foreign terrorist organization designation was labeled over to the Mexican drug cartels, we can now do that here, and in Mexico, and in Colombia, and in Venezuela, and anywhere else they are. And so that's the best analogy I have. What we're able to do is take our counterterrorism platform, traditionally used for global terrorist manhunting, and bring it into this hemisphere against a very real threat, which is the drug traffickers, and they are foreign terrorist organizations. So we just have so many more resources and authorities now directed at them.
So, for example, Director, in the regions, from the vantage point of local law enforcement, there are structures that have historically handled those partnerships separately. HIDA, for example, is an example on the drug trafficking side. The JTTFs are an example on the terrorism side. How is the thinking evolving in terms of on a regional basis, either merging or not merging those structures now that the targets in many ways are merged?
So the JTTFs are kind of our forward operating base across every single state in this country to take on that mission. And anytime you're labeled a foreign terrorist organization, you come right under the authorities of the JTTF, the task force officers, and the state and local level police work that gets done in those JTTFs. And the Homeland Security Task Force layer on top of that, I think 25 or 30 across the country, specifically working with DHS and Secretary Noem to go after the drug trafficking foreign terrorist organizations because they have unique capabilities and authorities dedicated to that mission. And so that's the beauty of the HSTFs.
Let me ask you an adjacent question, Director. I noticed in your written testimony, I don't think we've talked about it yet, you brought to our attention an expiring authority. It's in 6 U.S.C. 124N with respect to counter-UAS drones. You point out that authority expires in statute at the end of this month, and you impressed upon us your interest in seeing it extended in some manner. Can you talk a little bit about the FBI's role in counter-UAS work over American airspace? I represent a district that's going to host some of the FIFA World Cup activities coming up. We're obviously very interested in security. And there are limits on what our state and local authorities have the capacity to do, or what our military has the capacity to do once the threat is domestic.
So it's critically important. Both the FBI and DHS have those capabilities. I'll speak to the FBI, of course, only. And you raised the World Cup, and that's exactly what we need it for. The Club World Cup, which just happened, was 32 games in at least a dozen different cities across the country, the largest sporting events consecutively in American history. And we used our counter-drone capabilities to not only inspect and secure stadium locations, but where fans were hovering, and we call base camps. And thankfully, because of the success of the FBI and DHS, we had no significant security incidences. And flipping to the World Cup, which is going to be 3 times as large, and obviously the largest we've ever had, and blending into the LA Olympics in 28, our counter-UAS capabilities are going to be the ones that are able us to have literal bird's-eye view of the threat dynamic around so many of these cities, which are going to see literally tens and hundreds of thousands of people flock to them. So we have to have it.
And making sure the bad guys don't have the same.
Exactly.
Very good. I yield back and thank you.
Gentleman yields back. Director, you've been amazing. You've been here 4 hours and 41 minutes without a break. We appreciate that. I think we have one more member.
I've been waiting for all these people
and then
coming late.
We'll let you go, but we appreciate that. The gentleman from Texas is
This one uploaded, nice.
Thank you again for taking the time, Director Patel, and for Chairman Jordan for holding this hearing. Thank you for depoliticizing the FBI and getting it back to its original mission as well. Director Patel, do you agree that we have a problem in the United States with politically motivated violence?
Absolutely.
And I very much agree. I think we can all agree that political violence is wrong, it's evil, regardless of which side it comes from, and that we can all adamantly and vehemently reject it, or we certainly should. But one of the things that we've noticed recently is that affinity and tolerance for political violence is not equally distributed on both sides of the aisle. In fact, right now, social media is filled with leftists who are cheering on the murder of an iconic conservative political figure, Charlie Kirk. And it's not just random people on Twitter doing this now. There's a YouGov poll released just a few days ago,
Yo, this cold
which stated that
really
25% of those who identify as very liberal believe that political violence can sometimes be justified. That's far too many, is it not?
I'm getting arthritis.
It is.
One is far too many.
One is far too many. That's right. Only 3% of very conservatives said the same thing, and we can agree that 3% is far too many. But there's an astounding difference between 25% on the left accepting and tolerating political violence and 3% on the right. I would hope that our colleagues on the other side of the aisle would also recognize that there is a systemic problem on their side of the aisle with tolerance for violence against people with whom they politically disagree, that there's a cultural rot on their side of the aisle that needs to be addressed desperately. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
One of the more astounding aspects of this is that it's not just people. This comes from the very top, from their political leaders. Just a few days ago, a member of Congress of this body, Ilhan Omar, shared a video on her social media account about Charlie Kirk's murder, and I'll quote what it said. It said, "Charlie Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein, and his monster shot him through the neck." In other words, Charlie had it coming to him. The words that he said naturally led to his assassination. I mean, that is a reprehensible thing for a member of Congress to say, to suggest, to promote in any capacity. And there are people across this country who are losing their jobs for far less than this. And that, by the way, is a just response to acceptance and tolerance of political violence. It's amazing to me that the political left today, who were the originators and the cheerleaders of cancel culture, now have the backbone to attack conservatives for defending their assassinated friend. But there's a key difference here. Democrats want to silence conservatives for speaking obvious, self-evident, ontological truths like that men aren't women and men can't get pregnant. That seems pretty basic. That seems like a basic truth that we should all be able to agree on. Republicans, by contrast, are recognizing that a constitutional republic depends on the free and open exchange of ideas that we can debate without violence, and that assassinating a political rival is evil, it's wrong, and it should not be glorified or promoted or justified in any way, including in the way that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar did.
Yeah, fuck
so Mr. Patel, thank you again for being here. I'd like to, with the remainder of my time, just get your opinion. Does the FBI recognize the rising threat of political violence in America, and what can you guys do to address it?
Yes, we do, and what we can do to address it, Congressman, is we need to get online partnerships with these companies in the public space, on these gaming sites, and on these social media sites. As I was saying earlier, there is no way to triage the amount of information generated on these sites by the FBI alone. And we need the public-private partnership. And there's another law that's expiring, I think, at the end of this month, which I believe we need renewed, that allows private sector companies to report into the FBI without liability for criminal investigatory purposes. And that's the kind of stuff we need to keep going.
Got it. Thank you, Director Patel. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Director, I want to thank you again for being here. While we're waiting for members to get back to record their vote, you don't need to stay around for these kind of motions. We appreciate the service you're providing the country, appreciate your testimony today, and appreciate the fact that you did it 5 hours straight. That's amazing. So God bless you and keep up the good work. The witness is dismissed. We will come to order without objection. Chair is authorized to declare recess at any time. We welcome everyone to today's hearing on oversight of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is the first occasion for the committee to get back together since the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. Charlie was a good man, a happy warrior who fought
Charlie was the GOAT, man.
Fought for
we are all Charlie
guys,
Kirk.
I think make our country special, and certainly was a strong proponent of defending the First Amendment, something this committee cares deeply about. I said this over the weekend. I think Charlie lived that scripture verse, 2 Timothy 4:7. Fight the good fight, finish the course, keep the faith.
Yes.
Charlie certainly lived that, and he did it with a smile on his face. And so the tragic killing happened a week ago while we were in markup here in the committee. And I know everyone, our witness was a friend of Charlie's, and I know many people in the dais were as well.
What's that noise? Oh, my parking
I know
brake.
we're all praying for Charlie's family.
Why automatically puts on the parking brake?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for saying that. The whole country reacted with horror and shock to the brutal assassination of Charlie Kirk in cold blood. And there is never any warrant for political violence in America. And just as we all recoiled together at the shocking assassination of Melissa Hortman and others who died in that Minnesota attack, we all stand together categorically against political violence in America and determined to end these cycles of political violence that have traumatized the country.
Well said. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Kansas, Mr. Smith, to lead us all.
That fucking noise is annoying. I have to change my tune, man. We doing silence for Charlie? Silent moment.
As is customary, we will begin with opening statements. 5 weeks ago, because of the work of Director Patel, we learned that the former chair of the House Intelligence Committee and current United States Senator leaked classified information. We learned this because a whistleblower came forward. A whistleblower with 23 years experience in the intelligence community, Democrat staffer on the committee, said this: they were pressured to leak classified information. It sort of raises the obvious question. Why would the head of the Intelligence Committee, the chair of that committee, supposed to be guarding our secrets, why would he be encouraging the leaking of classified information? Whistleblower told us that answer as well. Leaked information was supposed to be used. Leaked information, false information was going to be used to relate. Now, the former chairman wasn't the only person leaking information. Jim Comey was also sharing things he wasn't supposed to share. Again, don't take my word for it. The Inspector General told us this. In his report, he said, quote, James Comey violated FBI policy by disclosing classified information. What was Comey's motive? Same as the senator from California. Sabotage and undermine President Trump's first term. And we know that Mr. Comey's not been shy about what his objective was. In fact, 4 months ago, he told us. Remember this? 8647. Comey told us just 4 months ago. Now, how'd they do it? How did the former chair of the Intel Committee, the former FBI director, and others in our government attempt to undermine President Trump's first term? 7 weeks ago, because of the good work of the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, we learned from another whistleblower, a second whistleblower, that in the closing days of the Obama administration, the intelligence community assessment was changed. On December 5th, 2016, they had one assessment. That assessment said Russia did not impact the election vote count. There was a meeting at the White House on December 9th, 2016, where it was decided, no, we're not going to have that. We're going to come up with a new one. And the new one said Russia was trying to influence election and did influence election, which just wasn't accurate. And that new one is published on January 6, 2017. Let's just show you a few things that took place. I want to show you first this email from Admiral Rogers, the head of the NSA. You can see it was December 22nd. It says to Jim, John, and Jim. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Jim Comey. And he says, I asked my team if they've had sufficient access to the underlying intelligence, sufficient time to review that intelligence. On both points, my team raised concern. Further states, my folks aren't fully comfortable. A few hours later, there's an email back to Admiral Rogers. This one is from Jim Clapper, and it says this. It is essential that we be on the same page and all of us are supportive of the report in the highest tradition of, that's our story, and we're sticking to it. We may have to compromise on our normal modalities. This is one project that has to be a team sport.
What's going on here,
That's
bro?
our story, and we're sticking to it. Compromise on normal modalities, that's a fancy way of saying, that's the government speak for we're going to have to change the rules. In fact, we're not going to follow our own rules. And that's exactly what they did to get the objective they wanted to undermine President Trump. Now, how did it specifically take place? The whistleblower said that the government officials ignored concerns about discredited information. And what was that discredited information? What was the discredited information that they didn't ignore the concerns about? What did they use, that discredited information? Of course, it was the dossier. The now famous Steele dossier that was paid for by the Clinton campaign when they hired the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired Fusion GPS, who hired the foreigner Christopher Steele, who wrote all this garbage and lies down. That is what was used to change the intelligence community report. And what happens next? What do Jim, John, and Jim do next? They go to Trump Tower on January 6, 2017, to brief then President-elect Trump about the dossier. Again, the Clinton-financed, foreign-authored dossier that the whistleblower knows is garbage and that they know is garbage. And then there's one final step. One final step. Jim Comey leaves that meeting with the president and immediately leaks to the press that they briefed the president on the discredited information. They briefed the president on the dossier and thereby given it some credibility and creating the basis and the predicate for all they did to the president. They leaked false information, they leaked classified information, they used and leaked discredited information, and they didn't follow their own rules, all to sabotage President Trump's first term. And but for this guy, Kash Patel, but for this guy, we would never have known this information. The good people of this great country would not have known what took place 8 years ago when they were trying to undermine the guy elected by we the people. And I want to thank Attorney General Bondi. She set up a special strike force, a special team to look into this and see if there's any criminal liability that exists in what took place. Now, in addition to getting the truth to the people, Director Patel is getting the bad guys off the street. He's moved agents out of Washington, got the focus off of politics.
If I go to this fucking
here in DC,
spot and it's still glitched out,
putting bad guys behind bars. 21,000 violent criminals have been taken off the streets, which is a 125% increase from the comparable period in the previous administration. He's rescued 4,000 kids. He's got 1,300 predators who he's arrested. He's also ended the weaponization of the FBI. No more spying on parents at school board meetings. No more pre-dawn raids on pro-life Catholics. no more retaliation against whistleblowers, and he's given us information that Chris Wray didn't. Maybe said better, he's given us information that Chris Wray wouldn't. Director Wray didn't tell us there were 26 confidential human sources at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, even though he was repeatedly asked about that by members of this committee. Director Wray didn't tell us that there were 17 of those confidential human sources who entered restricted space, 4 went in the Capitol. None of them were arrested. They weren't authorized to do that. They broke the law. None of them were arrested. Lots of American citizens were arrested, but the guys whose salary, whose American tax dollars was used to pay these guys who broke the law, none of them were, one was recommended for charging and was not charged. And remember when Chris Wray told us that the Richmond field office memorandum on pro-life Catholics was just a one-off? Turns out he wasn't being square with the Senate either. Director Wray wasn't square with us. He told us that multiple other offices were involved in targeting the Catholics. We got that information from Director Patel. We learned from Director Patel the FBI actually surveilled a priest, tried to get the priest to divulge information, break the priest-penitent relationship and confidence that exists. And Director Patel is saving taxpayers' money. He's not going to build a new headquarters outside of D.C. He's going to keep the headquarters right here in the capital city. Save Americans money. Save the taxpayers' money. In 8 months, Director Patel has given us the facts. He's ended the weaponization at the FBI. He's taking bad guys off the streets, and he's saving taxpayers' money. But my guess is the Democrats won't focus on all that good news. They'll focus on politics. They'll stick with Comey and Clapper and Brennan and continue to try to undermine President Trump. That I yield to the ranking member for Norfolk State.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and welcome, Director Patel. You and I have not had the opportunity to meet, and alas, you failed to respond to the 8 oversight letters I've sent you over the last 7 months. So we do have a lot of questions piling up for you, but I want to start with a word of praise. The first FBI director was J. Edgar Hoover, who steadfastly refused to hire women, African Americans, and other minorities as agents. And although he was a closeted homosexual who lived in domestic partnership for decades with Clyde Tolson, he also participated in anti-gay crusades. He aggressively promoted what we would today call white Christian nationalism. And he would undoubtedly be turning over in his grave to see as one of his successors a first-generation Indian American and a proud Hindu. So I congratulate you on being a breakthrough in this sense and being a beneficiary of the civil rights movement that opened up the FBI and the federal workforce to lots of people who never would have been hired in its first decades. Alas, you share J. Edgar Hoover's dangerous obsession with blind loyalty over professionalism and effective public policy. For Hoover, it was blind loyalty to him in keeping his secrets. For you, it's blind loyalty to Donald Trump in keeping his secrets. During your confirmation, it was widely noted on all sides that your primary qualification was your unwavering loyalty to Trump. Unlike other directors, you had no work experience at the FBI, but you had made over 1,000 media and political appearances in support of Trump's campaign. Your Senate confirmation vote was 51-49, the closest in history, with your opponents warning you were not qualified and had no interest in actually developing the qualifications for the job. I hoped that they were wrong. Alas, they were not. While most other new FBI directors drew on their experience as FBI agents, you didn't have that. But you did write a picture book trilogy for children ages 5 and up based on your experience clashing with President Trump's political enemies. In your book, you describe your literary alter ego, Cash the Knight, as a wacky, easily bored wizard carrying out King Donald's vengeance by driving his enemies out of the kingdom. In the books, King Donald is besieged by the evil Hillary Queentown, but saved in the end by Cash. Then he goes on to catch news for stealing the 2020 election from great King Donald on Sleepy Joe. And then in the third book, Cash takes down Dragon Jalapenos nicknamed DOJ. Your supporters hope that you graduate from imagining yourself a romantic fairy tale knight to actually running America's premier federal law enforcement agency.
I'm not playing this shit correctly because this shit
just as we've learned how dangerous it is to put a science-denying anti-vaxxer in charge of our public health. We've learned how dangerous it is to name as director of the FBI a man who thinks of himself as a fairy tale knight who keeps a fire-breathing dragon named DOJ at home to forcibly drive villains out of the kingdom. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated while his killer was still on the loose, you decided you didn't need to be at FBI headquarters in Washington to work with your team while the chaotic manhunt unfolded. You spent your evening dining in a swanky Midtown Manhattan restaurant and tweeting out false information that the subject of the shooting was in custody, a statement you had to retract 1 hour later.
This game sucks.
Your performance was so disturbing that even the MAGA base was alarmed. Culture warrior Christopher Rufo, who just a few months ago sat in your chair as a Republican witness, observed that you performed terribly, and he called for your ouster. The FBI might be able to survive your delusions of grandeur and the explosively volatile temper that was on display yesterday in the Senate, but the intractable problem is that you are running the FBI not as a law enforcement agency charged with keeping the American people safe, but as a political enforcement agency working directly for the president's vengeance campaign. 7 months in, it's impossible to overstate the destruction, chaos, and demoralization you've brought to the FBI and its workforce and the resulting danger your actions have caused to our country. You've been systematically purging the FBI of its most experienced and qualified agents, division leaders, and experts in counterterror, counterintelligence, and cybersecurity, precisely the people who have the expertise you lack and which the FBI and the country need. They've been expelled from the ranks of the Bureau simply because they did their duty investigating crimes, including those committed by the mob that attacked the Capitol on January 6, 2021, and beat the hell out of more than 140 police officers, or simply because you suspected them of being insufficiently loyal to Donald Trump. You illegally sacked Brian Driscoll, the former acting director of the Bureau and a decorated counterterrorism expert who worked at the FBI for nearly 20 years. According to Driscoll, you told him your own job, quote, depended on the removal of agents who worked on the cases against the president, regardless of whether the agents chose to work on those cases or not. You added, quote, the FBI tried to put the president in jail, and he hasn't forgotten it. You forced out the leader of the Salt Lake City field office, Mehtab Saeed, just weeks before Charlie Kirk's assassination, depriving the FBI of an experienced counterterrorism expert described by her colleagues as absolutely the best and legendary. She would have led the FBI's manhunt had she not been fired. When Trump decided that rounding up immigrants with no criminal records was more important than preventing crimes like human trafficking of women and girls, drug dealing, terrorism, and fraud, you ordered the 25 largest field offices to divert thousands of agents away from chasing down violent criminals, sex traffickers, fraudsters, and scammers to carry out this immigration crackdown. Director Patel, you treated the men and women at FBI with disrespect and paranoia. You've assembled a roving band of freelancing henchmen within your office and charged them with conducting unauthorized investigations, targeting and harassing career FBI employees. Amazingly, you forced senior leadership to repeatedly take polygraph tests to prove their political loyalty and pushed out leaders who refused these demeaning exercises. And now we're seeing one very clear reason why you want to build a political FBI: the Epstein files. You want an FBI blindly loyal to Trump and to you as his enforcer so you can continue your cover-up of a massive international sex trafficking ring with more than 1,000 victims, betraying all of the survivors of the sexual violence. Before you got in this job, you called for full release of the Epstein files, telling podcaster Benny Johnson that the only reason the list was not released by DOJ and FBI was, quote, because of who's on that list. Upon your confirmation, you promised that, quote, there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, no stone left unturned, and anyone from the prior or current Bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. This spring, you ordered hundreds of agents to pore over all the Epstein files, but not to look for more clues about the money network or the network of human traffickers. You pulled these agents from their regular counterterrorism or drug trafficking duties to work around the clock, some of them sleeping at their desks, to conduct a frantic search to make sure Donald Trump's name and image were flagged and redacted wherever they appeared, whether an email, a text, a letter, an interview, a photograph, or a video. In May, Attorney General Bondi reportedly told Trump that his name had indeed appeared multiple times throughout the Epstein files. And not long thereafter, in July, you and the Attorney General released a memo claiming that, quote, no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. In a few short months, how did you go from being a crusader for accountability and transparency for the Epstein files to being a part of the conspiracy and cover-up? The answer is simple. You said it yourself, because of who's on that list. Donald Trump's relationship with Epstein over the years is well documented. A week ago, the Oversight Committee released Trump's disturbing birthday book, Note to Epstein, written over a drawing of a woman's naked body, referring to a, quote, wonderful secret. The Oversight Committee obtained the note from the Epstein estate, not from the FBI, raising questions again of whether the FBI has been withholding documents. While you're unleashing the FBI to cater to Trump's desire to shut down the Epstein inquiry, the first 9 months of the Trump presidency have seen a spate of political violence and domestic terror events. We saw deadly attacks on political figures on both the left and the right. The brutal assassination of Minnesota Democratic House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband, and the attempted murder of Democratic State Senator John Hoffman and his wife, who miraculously survived a combined 17 gunshots. We saw an arsonist set Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence on fire. And of course, last week, we saw the horrific, cold-blooded assassination of Charlie Kirk in Utah that has shaken the nation. 1 minute after Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck, a 16-year-old shooter in Evergreen, Colorado, radicalized by white supremacist ideology online, opened fire and critically wounded 2 other students at Evergreen High School. We've seen lethal anti-Semitic violence, including the murder of 2 young Israeli embassy staffers just blocks from the Capitol, and then in the attack on a gathering of Jewish people in support of hostages held in Gaza in Boulder in June. We've seen continued mass shootings at schools, like the domestic terror incident at a Catholic school in Minneapolis last month, which killed 2 children and wounded 18 others. And in August, a man fired more than 500 bullets at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, killing a police officer who was a Marine veteran and a father. People like Melissa Hortman and Charlie Kirk should be able to participate in politics as elected officials or active citizens without being shot down in cold blood in the United States of America. People should also be able to go to elementary school, to middle school, to high school, to work, to the mall, and to church without being shot down in explosions of gun violence. The important position at the FBI requires a leader who puts public safety and national security and the rule of law first. I'm afraid, Director Patel, you've given us reason to believe you've used the powers of the FBI to serve Donald Trump and his agenda of partisan retribution. You've broken your promise not to do that. You've betrayed Jeffrey Epstein's victims and survivors. You've turned your back on the career law enforcement officers of the FBI, and as a result, you've left all of us less.
He can't even look at Cash's eyes without stuttering. This bitch ass nigga. Yo, you is a fucking clown. Who is this dude? This fucking weirdo, bro. Oh my god. Nobody jacks you, bro.
Less safe than before. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. That opening statement may have been longer than any book director's ever written or anyone
Thank
else
you.
has written.
Thank you. The fucking chairman is even shitting on you, bro. Nobody jacks you. Go home, nigga. You weird.
Without objection, all of the opening statements will be included in the record. We will now introduce today's witness. Mr. Patel has been the director of the FBI since February of 2025. He previously served as chief of staff at the Department
Forza
of Defense,
Horizon 6.
deputy director of national intelligence with the National Security Council, and also as a congressional staffer, as a federal prosecutor, where he focused on national security cases, and he also worked as a public defender in the state of Florida. We welcome our witness, appreciate his work, and thank him for appearing here today. We will begin by swearing you in,
Doesn't
Director. Would you
Microsoft
please
have
stand?
these games for free?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true, and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief, so help you God. Let the record reflect that the witness has answered in the affirmative. You can be seated as you are. You know, you've been through this yesterday. Did a fine job. Please know that your written testimony will be entered into the record in its entirety. Accordingly, we ask that you summarize your testimony. Director, you may begin.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Raskin, and members of the committee. I want to begin today by discussing the appalling assassination of Charlie Kirk. It's important for this FBI to be transparent without jeopardizing our investigation, so a little bit of the timeline is important. Charlie Kirk was unfortunately assassinated on September 10th. We immediately, the next day, released images early in the day in local time in Utah to start the public partnership in our manhunt for the assassin and culprits. At approximately 5 p.m. local time, I arrived on the ground and walked the crime scene myself, and we flew multiple FBI assets in and out to process DNA simultaneously while bringing in evidence response technicians, hostage rescue teams, and other experts to assist state and local law enforcement with their investigation. At 8 p.m. local on September 11th, the FBI collected and populated and promulgated at a press conference a video of the suspect on the grounds. We also released enhanced images. Due to that release that I directed and ordered, the suspect involved was apprehended and in custody at 10 p.m. local time. That's less than 2 hours after we did the video release and the photo release. So within 33 hours, that individual suspect was in custody. And his family, who has since been interrogated, specifically stated to FBI interrogators that because of the video that the FBI released at my direction and because of the photographs that they released, they identified their son, they confronted their son when he swung by their home, and that's what led to his apprehension. We are still, the FBI has that investigation ongoing, and it continues to be ongoing, and I want to thank the state of Utah and the state and local authorities there. And I also want to thank the Attorney General and President Trump for directing resources to allow us to conduct that investigation as we have. Under this administration, the FBI has arrested more than 23,000 violent criminals. 23,000 in 7 months. That's twice as many year to date last year. We've taken over 6,000 firearms off the streets.
Get him, Cash. Get him.
6,000 guns are no longer in the hands of criminals.
Sick him, Cash. Sick him. Sick him. Get this fuck-eyed nigga out of here, bro. This fuck-eyed lame-ass nigga, bro. Who the fuck put that man in Congress, bro? Who the fuck put that bastard in Congress talking about, you are doing a bad thing. You are pushing the president's agenda, which is your job, but you're still doing a bad thing. Fucking lame ass nigga. Shut the fuck up, bro. Sick him, Cash. Get his ass.
7 months. We've identified and found and located 4,700 child victims. That is a 35% increase year to date last year. We have arrested 1,500 child predators. That is a 10% increase year to date last year in just 7 months. We've assisted our partners with countless counterterrorism operations around the world. We've captured, at the FBI, 4 of the most top 10 wanted fugitives in the world in 7 months. To put that in perspective, that's as many as my predecessor nabbed in the entirety of the Biden administration. We got 4, we got more coming. On top of that, in 2 weeks, thanks to the help of the CIA, we collected and captured one of the individuals responsible for the horrific Abbey Gate bombing that led to the murder of 13 service members. We did that in 2 weeks. They didn't do it in the 4 years of the entire prior administration. Nationwide, we've been executing our Operation Summer Heat, the FBI's national focus on targeting violent crime based on intelligence-driven operations. Ask the citizens of Seattle, Miami, Memphis, Charlotte, Chicago, New Orleans. To specifically highlight New Orleans and Nashville, there has been a 250% increase in violent crime arrests in those cities alone, and other mid-major cities that I've just listed. In just a few short months, we have already unleashed 1,000 FBI personnel across this country. Every single state across this country is getting a plus-up. This is a fiction that the FBI is short or that we are compromising the men and women in the field. They do not need to be in Washington, D.C., so we're sending them into the field to each and every one of your states. Because of that, crime is at an all-time low. We had to do it because of the explosion of crime. And maybe the most important stat for Americans to realize, in just 7 months, we are on track to produce the lowest murder rate in modern U.S. history by double digits. Those are results not of mine. Those are results of the men and women of the FBI. If you want to criticize me, bring it on. But do not attack the brave leaders in the field. We are also working 24/7, 365 on the opioid epidemic that is killing more than hundreds of thousands of people a year. We have seen 1,600 kilograms of fentanyl off the streets so far in 7 months. Year to date, 25% increase. To put that in perspective, that's enough to kill a third of the American population, 120 million Americans. 100,000 kilograms of cocaine and meth gone off the streets. Earlier this year, I highlighted in Cincinnati, Ohio, how we're getting creative to chase down those that were willing to do harm to our citizens, not just by striking at the heart of the fentanyl producers, but the fentanyl precursor companies in China. And we indicted for the first time multiple companies and individuals, not just in America, but in mainland China, that are producing the ingredients that produce and make fentanyl that kill our children. And we're gonna keep going. Counterterrorism work, cyber attacks, and foreign adversaries are something the FBI must never sleep on, and we are not sleeping. In the counterintelligence space alone, this year, year to date, 30% increase in counterintelligence arrests from the DPRK, Russia, Iran, and China. And I want the American people to know, in this setting, there's a lot of work
Damn,
that
they
the
upped
brave
the
men and women
price
in
for
the FBI are doing. We just can't
Xbox
get
Game
into,
Pass,
but they
bro?
don't stop. Our cyber threats, ransomware attacks, those harming our children
This
are
device
not.
includes
Nearly
PC
a
Game Pass.
20%
Oh
increase
shit,
in
I got
indictments
one. I
arrests
didn't even
in
realize
7
that.
months
Nice.
alone this year.
Redeem.
We're going after those that harm our malware.
I got 1
infrastructure
month
systems,
subscription
telecom
free.
systems, and energy
Gangsta.
structure, combating salt and
Hold
vault
on, I didn't even
typhoons are
realize
just
that.
a little bit of the examples we're doing. Maybe most importantly, under the counterterrorism and domestic terrorism umbrella, are nihilist, violent extremists, and those that label themselves 764, who wish to go online and convince children to maim and mutilate themselves and commit suicide. And we are producing
Unlock
record
your Game
numbers
Pass
of arrests
membership
under
and
that
store
umbrella
games. See
organization.
what games
We
they are right
even
now.
stopped an individual in the 764 network who wanted to conspire to kill an
Wow, I
adolescent
paid
girl.
for this game for
He's
no
now in
reason. I
custody.
could have just fucking.
Transparency remains one of my main priorities at the FBI. And this is what I've done in my
Bullcrap. What the
7
hell
months
is
at the
that?
helm. We've produced more than 33,000 pages of documents to Congress to a variety of committees, including, I believe, 7,500 to this committee alone,
That's
if
actually
memory serves me
fire.
correct. To put the 33,000 in perspective,
This seems dope.
my predecessor in 7 years produced 13,000 pages in total to the United States Congress. His predecessor in 4 years produced 3,000 pages in total. I repeat, I have produced 33,000 pages in 7 years to this Congress and will continue to do so. I'm dedicated to restoring the trust and the mission and the integrity of the FBI, and we cannot do so without congressional oversight, and I promise you I will continue to do so. On the Epstein case, the original sin on the Epstein case was how it was handled by Mr. Acosta when he first brought the case in 2006, 7, and 8.
Oh, they got this game
The
here?
original case had a very limited search warrant, had a very limited search window, had a very limited investigative window. I was not there when those search warrants and that investigation was
I heard
launched. I
this
would
game
not
is
have done
kinda
it that
cool.
way. They were limited to only 3 to 4 years of investigations from 97 to approximately 2001 and 2002 to 2005. Mr. Acosta allowed Mr. Epstein to enter into a plea agreement where he served weekend jails for trafficking minor women. He also was allowed to leave jail to go home on the weekends.
That's
Plus,
crazy.
he allowed a non-prosecution agreement to be signed as part
Oh,
of that
they
plea
got all
deal,
the fallouts here.
prohibiting
Wow.
future
Should've just-
investigations
Hold on, they
from
don't
that
got fallout.
prosecution
Oh yeah, they do got
and from
fallout.
that
for it. What the
evidence, and
fuck?
prohibiting the collection
I
of
got the
further
anniversary
material.
edition. It looks
That
good.
is the original sin. We are working with Congress to produce more than any administration ever has material on Epstein. And I welcome the challenge to tell us that we are not being as transparent as the
Farmers
law
Simulator
allows. We even went to
25
court
is on
and asked
here?
the judges to lift those prosecutorial agreements and to lift those court order seals, and they denied us 3 times.
Firefighting.
Congress is welcome to do the same and join the fight.
I could
And I'd
get
lastly like
Horizon
to
5 here.
focus on operation that the president led in D.C. Because of this, we are taking this fight in D.C. to every single city across the country. 2,100 arrests in the last month alone. D.C. has seen a 60% decrease in gun crimes, 75% decrease in
60,
carjackings,
that's a lot.
53% decrease in homicides in our nation's capital.
House flipper.
And rightly
That's cool.
so. We're bringing that fight to the streets of America. I want to thank you for your support, and I'm proud to be the director that leads this FBI into a new headquarters building that they've needed for decades, saving the taxpayer $3.5 billion, and also providing our workforce a safe environment. If you don't know the calamity that is the Hoover Building, I invite each and every one of you to walk around. I'll give you a tour myself, and you can see where the cement
Oh, they got
falls on the
Flight
heads of
Simulator.
our employees that is only to be saved by netting. Just to give you an example. Thank you for support to our mission. And I do want to highlight one thing about DC.
Man, shout out Cash, bro.
It's because the
Fucking
FBI
legend.
gathered sources and evidence that we were able to, through our source network, identify the horrific murder.
There's
of
no
the
truck
DC intern
simulators
Eric
on
Trepay.
Microsoft?
And I've spoken to his family, and you know, we are working to bring them justice. And Mr. Chairman, in my 16
They got
years, now
Power
my 17
World?
years of
Nah,
government
that's
service, if
crazy.
anyone
I
has any
bought that
questions
game, I
about
think.
my service, bring it on.
Thank you, Director. We will now proceed under the 5-minute rule. The chair
Oh,
recognizes
Power
the
Wash. My
gentleman
little
from
brother
California,
wanted to
Mr.
play
Rice.
this shit. Play this
Director,
way.
delighted to
Got
have you
this
here.
here.
You are a breath of fresh air. As you outlined, and I won't repeat it, the accomplishments, you did so with the same resources as your predecessor, roughly. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
And so how much of that has to do with taking people
Got
out of the
Snow Runner.
backside of the FBI and moving them
Here, they got
into the
Snow
field,
Runner.
into doing the job for which we primarily pay the FBI?
It's exactly what we needed done. 1/3 of the
Stark,
FBI's
fucking
workforce
Stark.
resided in the National Capital Region before I got there. 1/3 of the crimes do not happen in Washington, D.C.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So 1,000 personnel of the FBI were deployed across this country on a permanent basis, and every single state in this
Would it be
union is
considered
getting a plus
role-playing?
up, not a reduction, a plus up of 1811s of intel analysts and support staff. And that is why the crime rates are going down in record numbers.
Thank you for doing that, and you know, it's perhaps the hardest thing for a bureaucrat to do is to lower the head count around them that support them, and I appreciate your willingness to do it different than your predecessor. A lot of what you covered earlier was the find, the discovery, and then the prosecution that is done by the DOJ. But I want to
they don't
talk
got-
a little bit about the prevent side.
On the Charlie assassination, sir?
No, on all of these.
Okay.
Okay, for example, and I'll bring it up before the Democrats bring it up, January 6th. January 6th, we now know, because of your find, that in fact, there were people involved who were not just observers, but participants, who in fact, it's been alleged, and I personally believe,
So
in
they
fact,
don't got
were
truck
part of
simulator on here no
promoting,
more? I thought
perhaps
they had that
even
shit.
the one woman who died, encouraging her to walk through a door that led to her death. When you see that kind of activity, and you know it was done under predecessors with
simulator.
full knowledge, whether it's January 6th, where embedded people crossed the line, or any other activity, including obviously the
They
Russian
took
hoax
truck
that we're now
simulator
dealing
outta
with up
here?
in, front and center. My question to you is, what can
Damn,
you or
that
others
sucks.
do to prevent it from occurring again? Not on your watch,
I mean, this
but
looks
on
cool,
future
but truck
watches. How can
simulator
we
is
know
gone,
that this
gang?
won't happen again the moment you leave the FBI?
It's simple. What I'm doing through
I
our
only got
leadership
2
cadre
stars, so I
is
don't know.
having FBI agents do what they were trained to do, not what they were not trained to do, not put them in situations that both harm them and the public. We're also utilizing our SORT networks and prioritizing the threat structure to go after the narco traffickers, the counterterrorism people, the counterintelligence threats, and the cyber threats. That's what they were trained to do, and that's what we're letting them do.
One major question I have, after decades of doing this, on our side of it, both the chairman, myself, and others, both at oversight and here, have seen that the FBI and the Department of Justice hide behind non-statutory practices.
DLC.
Now, you've changed the interpretation of many of those practices. That's why we're getting the discovery that was previously withheld. How do we work together to make sure that we never again have false walls, non-statutory walls that say the Department of Justice has a prohibition about giving, quote, you fill in the blank, that has led to the chairman not seeing anything until you took over?
I'm wedded to aggressive constitutional oversight. Having been a House congressional staffer, I know
They don't
that
even
is
got
an
Forza,
important
bro. I
part
just
of
realized that.
securing our democracy. And the way we make it an everlasting, enduring
fuck,
process is by showing the American people the results of what we are doing and the important work of this committee and putting it out to them so they can see government waste, fraud, and abuse. And then
How
they
they
can
do?
demand from our constituents and our electors
Forza
that they want
6 is
this
gonna come
process
out
to
on this shit too?
Last major question here. Some things are so sensitive that we both would agree they cannot be made public. Will you commit to this committee when it is too sensitive to,
I don't know if this
to
is worth it.
disclose that you would at least make it available for in-camera review by the chairman and ranking members or others designated?
I have done that and I will continue to do that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a breath of fresh air.
This is the beginning of what we need. But my questions today for the director are ones in which I believe that we do need to codify by agreement or by statute if necessary the kind of openness and transparency that we're seeing from this administration, the kind of discovery that's allowing us to do our oversight properly. And I would hope that that be the follow-up to this, obviously along with the Attorney General. And I yield back my 4 seconds.
Fuck yeah, I already got a
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from New York is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, Director Patel. In the wake of the tragic murder of Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump said, quote, "Violence and murder are the tragic consequences of demonizing those with whom you disagree, day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible," close quote. I would note for the record that Donald Trump has famously demonized practically every person he has ever disagreed with, and therefore, using his own logic, he has put their lives at risk. About 2 weeks ago, when I announced my decision not to seek re-election, many people on both sides of the aisle, including the chairman, offered me well wishes and thanked me for my service. Donald Trump, on the other hand, took the Truth Social to call me a, quote, psychopathic nutjob, among other things. Yesterday, I received a threatening note filled with anti-Semitic comments and hateful attacks that mimicked some of the same language used by the president. I am sure many of us on this committee face similar threats every day. We have seen political assaults on both the left and the right. The attack on Charlie Kirk, the attempted assassination of the president, the murder of the Democratic Speaker of the Minnesota House, the assault on Paul Pelosi, and the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, for example. Director Patel, do you agree that there is political violence from both the left and the right?
There's too much political violence.
Do you agree, yes or no, that there's violence?
There is too much political violence based on ideologies from either side.
From either side, okay. Are you aware of the study by the Cato Institute, a well-known conservative group, that found that 69% of the violence is from the right?
I'm not familiar with that study.
You're not familiar, okay. I would commend it to you. Are you aware the administration has threatened to use violence as an excuse to crack down on liberty and freedom of speech?
Say that again, I'm sorry?
Are you aware the administration has threatened to use violence as an excuse to crack down on liberty and freedom of speech?
Nobody at the FBI is doing that.
I didn't ask you about the FBI, I said the administration.
I speak for the FBI.
He speaks for the FBI.
I would like to enter the record an article from today's New York Times titled, "Trump Invokes Kirk's Killing and Justifying Measures to Silence Opponents." In the wake of Charlie Kirk's killing, President Trump and his allies have laid out a broad plan to target liberal groups, monitor speech, revoke visas, and designate certain groups as domestic terrorists. I ask unanimous consent to insert this into the record. Thank you. Politicizing the murder of Charlie King to go after free speech is not a legacy I believe Charlie King would have wanted. Moving on, I want to address another topic. The FBI has traditionally played a key role in prosecuting public officials for corruption. But I fear that at a time when the president is accepting planes from Qatar for his post-presidential personal use, issuing pardons to major donors, and personally profiting from the office of the presidency, the FBI may be abandoning its commitment to investigating public corruption. Since its creation in the wake of the Watergate scandal, the Public Integrity Section has been one of the crown jewels of the Department of Justice, investigating and prosecuting corruption among the nation's public officials and acting as a key safeguard against politicized prosecutions. This section's work has been supported by an elite squad in the FBI devoted specifically to rooting out corruption. But according to reports, the Public Integrity Section has now been decimated, and the FBI's Public Corruption Squad has been disbanded. I would like to submit for the record a New York Times article entitled, "FBI Dismantles Elite Public Corruption Squad." I ask unanimous consent. Thank you. These actions are an invitation to corrupt politicians to break the law, since they know that the government is asleep at the switch. Last month, Senator Warren and I, along with dozens of other members of Congress, wrote to you and Attorney General Bondi expressing grave concern over your decision to effectively legalize corruption and to politicize prosecutorial decisions. And he asks unanimous consent to enter this letter into the record. Thank you. I don't have time today to walk through all your questions, all of our questions and concerns, but will you commit to answering this letter in short order so that we can understand what factors led to this decision and how it has impacted the ability to hold corrupt officials accountable?
I will review your letter with my team and respond as soon as I can.
You will respond. Thank you. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Arizona is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Director, for being here. I appreciate the change in the FBI and the tone since you've been there. We heard the ranking member, however, describe the FBI under your leadership as being resorting to political enforcement,
What is the Game Pass?
and you personally as being paranoid. I would just suggest that perhaps that is the projections of the ranking member himself and not you, sir. I want to refer to something that was said yesterday in yesterday's hearing by Senator Grassley. He said, it's well understood that your predecessor left you an FBI infected with politics. At your nomination hearing, he gave you records, made public records about whistleblowers regarding something called Arctic Frost. Arctic Frost was the FBI case opened and approved by anti-Trump FBI agent Thibault, and Arctic Frost became Jack Smith's elector case. The new records show that Arctic Frost was much broader than just an electoral matter. In fact, it was expanded to Republican organizations. Some examples of the groups that the Ray FBI sought to place under political investigation included the Republican National Committee, Republican Attorneys General Association, and Trump political groups. In total, 92 Republican targets, including Republican groups, Republican-linked individuals, were placed under the investigative scope of Arctic Frost. On that political list for investigation was one of Charlie Kirk's groups, Turning Point USA. In other words, Arctic Frost wasn't just a case to politically investigate Trump. It was the vehicle by which partisan FBI agents and DOJ prosecutors could achieve their partisan ends and improperly investigate the entire Republican political apparatus. I'd ask that, Mr. Chairman, that document be administered.
Without objection.
So, I know that this may be under current investigation, but I wish to ask specific questions about this for just a moment. What search tools were used in Arctic Frost to view private communications of targets?
Once
I believe the traditional search tools, search warrants, lawful service of process, and the
Ooh, I could use those on my
tools that the
device.
FBI has in our infrastructure systems, cybersecurity systems, and counterintelligence systems. But generally speaking, if I may, I want to use this to highlight the fact that I'm
could use this
continuing
on
my
my
promise
Steam
to
Deck-
work
not my
with
Steam Deck,
Congress
my,
to produce documents
my
simultaneously and
LIX.
also conduct ongoing
Nice.
investigations. I'm giving you as much as I can, and I'll give you more when I can.
Thank you. Another question regarding that is, were there any directives from the Biden White House concerning the Arctic Frost investigation?
What's that?
Were there any
directives or communications from the Biden White House itself concerning the Arctic Frost investigation?
I'll just rely on what was turned over to date, sir.
Okay. So I want to add here, the search warrants that were used included the seizing of a U.S. member of Congress, his phone. I think we all know who that was and how that was taken
Yeah, I'll
away
do that
and
later.
used for political purposes, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Director. So we'll leave that for a second, and let's go over to the Charlie Kirk case for just a second. Let's emphasize this. How many
could play
hours did
76
it take
now.
from the assassination to the arrest of the assassin, Mr. Director?
33.
That seems pretty swift, and it was because of the actual release of videos and photographs that you
they got
directed to be
Madden?
released, sir.
That's correct, and to put in
What?
perspective, the Boston bomber took 5 days, and Luigi
I
Mangione
got
took
Madden
5
for
days.
free now?
Was the platform Discord forthright from the start with law
Fire,
enforcement about the
fire.
shooter's communications
gonna
on this
download it.
platform?
Discord, the platform ownership, has been working with our lawful process, and we are obtaining materials from them on a rolling basis.
Oh yeah, I want to download this shit.
And I want to get back here to Arctic Frost for just a second, Mr. Chairman. I'd like the unclassified document from the FBI released to be admitted to the record.
Without objection.
And a document from the Economic Times also to be admitted to the record.
Without objection.
So I'm going to give you the last 30 seconds. We could go on about the Epstein. Respond to either of the two vitriolic questioning or statement from the Democrats.
The work of the FBI speaks for itself. It's on showcase here today. Anyone that wants to attack the FBI can attack me, but leave our leadership structure alone. When you have 23,000 violent felons arrested, twice as many as this time last year, the work speaks for itself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you. Appreciate your good work, Director Patel. Yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman.
no, I didn't mean to close.
Director Patel, before you joined the FBI, you railed against it for covering up Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking ring. Let me refresh your memory with this clip.
Has Epstein's list, they're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like
hate
something you
this
should
dude.
do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list.
So you finished that December 2023 interview with a challenge to the FBI and harsh words for Republicans in Congress for not getting the Epstein files out to the public. You can see this clip.
Boy pants, and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are, you said. You emphasized that the president and FBI director each had complete authority to release Epstein's client list. You said Epstein's black book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. Look at this clip.
This is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black book?
black book?
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
Oh, that's under direct control of the director of the FBI.
All right, so you were sworn in as director more than 200 days ago. Now the black book is under your direct control. So why haven't you released the names of Epstein's co-conspirators in the rape and sex trafficking of young women and girls?
The Rolodex, which is what everybody colloquially refers to as the Black Book, has been released.
Oh, no, you're talking about what the journalist got 5 years ago? No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what you were talking about there,
That's
the black
exactly
book
what I
under
was
the direct
talking
control of the
about.
FBI director.
We have released more material than anyone else before. The Biden administration, Obama administration had the exact opportunities to release this material, and they never did. And if you are selling the men and women of the FBI,
Why
we're
have
not
you
going after
changed your
child
position?
predators. Hang on, you said we're not going after child predators. 1,500 child predators arrested this year, 35% increase,
I'll reclaim my time.
4,700 child victims
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to
found.
reclaim my time if you could instruct the witness. Why have you changed your position? There you were saying it's under the direct control of the FBI director and all of it should be released. Why have you changed your
Everything
position?
that has been lawfully permitted to be released has been released. And as I told you, the investigation was limited. And let me make something crystal clear. I never said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic other people, other women, and they're not other victims. This is the investigation we were given from 2006, 7, and 8, and the search warrants from 2006, 7, and 8. That's what we're working with.
Well, wait, have you released all of the stuff that the FBI has seized from Epstein's house? The computers, the emails, the file cabinets, the documents? What about the financial records? Have you released all of that?
Everything the court has allowed us to
Which
release.
court are you talking about?
3 separate federal courts have come in and said...
We're talking about the evidence you've got. It's got nothing to do with what those
already
courts
released
have.
it, he said.
Do you
Talking
know
about
how the
evidence-
law works? Do you want me to break the law in a federal judge's order?
No, I want you to
satisfy
follow your own
curiosity?
word, Director Patel. You said
no-
up
there's
there
no
it was
snow
under
on
the
it?
direct control of the FBI director. He had the black book.
Everything
have you released?
I have direct control over, we have gone to court. You haven't.
Complete
We
your
went
sentence.
to court.
Everything you have direct control over, you
we
said.
Have gone to court, and everything we have direct
Director
control
Patel,
over.
complete your
and
sentence.
can
You said everything-
lawfully release.
Can he let him
release it.
complete?
He'd like to complete his answer.
Can you let him complete it? Thank you.
You
fucking piece
began
of shit.
the sentence, everything you have direct control over, and then you stopped that sentence. You've released everything that you have direct control over?
I have direct control over and can lawfully release. If you're not familiar with the court orders, that's not my fault.
Oh, I'm
Go
perfectly,
look at them.
I'm
Go
perfectly
to
familiar
court.
with them. But how did we prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell?
She was prosecuted with the investigatory material that was collected from 2001 and 2005 because of the non-prosecution agreements and the court orders on the investigations and search warrants. We were not able to develop new information. And oh, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein was out for 12 years, and the Obama and Biden administration did nothing to look at his work, his pedophile network. If you want to blame me, that's fine. But now you're blaming the men and women who conducted
No,
this
stop
great
that.
search.
I'm not blaming anybody other than you. You're not keeping your word. You said that you would release all of the materials
Has
under your
anyone
direct
released
control.
more information on Epstein
He
than I have?
already did.
Has anyone?
Much
Did
more.
Comey, did Ray?
Much
Did
more.
they?
Excuse me. Much more has come out in the days since the American people in Congress have been demanding it. But it's
Oh
coming out
my
in
God,
dribs and
this
drabs.
person-
Why don't you just release the entire file as you promised to do?
He already
Literally
said
just
legally
told you
he
there are
can't.
multiple federal court orders. I'm not
Oh
going to
my
break the law
God,
to
bro.
satisfy your curiosity. You didn't join us when we filed court to release the court orders. You could have. You have lawyers. You could have shown up. You didn't do that.
That's a tiny fraction of the material we're
That
talking
is
about.
not.
It is
How
a
do you-
tiny fraction.
How do you know that? Have you seen
No.
everything?
It's all misdirected.
How do you know
Time
that?
of the gentleman has expired. The gentleman from California is recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Director. Just to be clear, how many of the Epstein files were released in the 4 years of the Biden administration?
0.
And how many have you released?
I don't have the number, but it's got to be thousands of pages.
I was going to ask you to begin whether Americans are safer today than they were 9 months ago, but you cited dramatic increases in criminal arrests since you've taken office, a dramatic decrease in crime that's resulted. Who would have thought that taking criminals off the streets would reduce the crime rate? But somehow we have stumbled upon that new truth. But it begs the question, what was the FBI doing during the 4 years of the Biden administration to see that dramatic an increase in work under your tenure?
Simple answer is I'm letting good cops be cops. We're working with our state and local law enforcement. We're energizing our partnerships. We're bringing on more task force officers. When you have more cops in the streets, when you're using ground-based intelligence, when you're not weaponizing law enforcement and focusing on DC and focusing on the rest of America, this is what happens. It is not a significant mind shift in terms of how we maneuver the FBI. They've wanted to do this work since they signed up. We're just letting them.
And we've seen many prominent Democrats oppose your efforts to restore law and order to the streets of our nation's capital. I mean, all of us here have seen a dramatic change for the better here in Washington, D.C. Why are so many Democrats attacking you for that?
Sir, Democrats have been attacking me for a decade, as is the fake news media. They didn't like the Russiagate host and the largest weaponization of the FBI, DOJ, and U.S. history. We proved it to be true with congressional oversight. I'm wed to that congressional oversight and will continue to do that work.
Christopher Wray repeatedly warned this committee that the Biden open borders policy had produced a significant increase in terrorist threats that he said kept him up at night. A particular concern, he said, was the 2 million gotaways that entered the country during the Biden administration. That's an average of 41,000 every month. What are the monthly gotaway numbers?
Sir, I'll have to get back to you on the exact gotaway numbers, but identifying that there are gotaways is step 1. Going and manhunting them is step 2, and that's what we're committing our resources to do.
That's my next question. Is what progress has administration made in apprehending and removing terrorist threats that came in during the
I think you're talking about, if you're not, let me know, known or suspected terrorists, and we've encountered almost 0 at the southern border since the southern border's been sealed. But the problem that we are running into is our northern border. It's largely expansive. The enemy has adapted. We need more focus on the northern border to stop suspected terrorists from coming in from places like China, Russia, Middle East, Africa, and Afghanistan.
What can you tell us about the remaining threat posed by potential terrorist cells here in the United States?
Toggle camera is what?
The terrorist threat that continues to be posed by international terrorists here in the United States is one of my highest priorities. We are working through our intelligence community partners to identify those individuals, and we've taken down numerous individuals and numerous
little
across
shit.
this country to neutralize that terrorist threat, including in places like New York City, Los Angeles, and I believe Dallas, Texas.
This shit only does
How
32?
extensively did criminal cartels like Sinaloa, Jalisco, New Generation, MS-13, Trinidad, and others infiltrate our country during the Biden administration?
With this shit.
By the tens of thousands.
What progress have you been making in combating
This little
I
shit
think
actually
the DHS
whips.
is best to speak to that, but I think I can't remember the numbers of tens of thousands or hundreds
I
of
gotta
thousands
do my
of
homework and
individuals they
research.
found that came in illegally, and the tens of thousands that associations and criminal networks have all been deported.
That effort is being opposed every step of the way by
I learn how to play this
Democratic
shit.
leaders in our cities, some of our states, and right here in the Congress. Isn't that true?
But we're just working where we can
It's
in
up
every single
here.
city we can, and I welcome the opportunity
you,
to partner
homie?
with
Who
Republicans
you?
or Democrats fighting violent crime like we're doing.
Mr. Biggs asked about Arctic frost. What else can you tell us about that and what we need to do
Who
to
you,
ensure that
homie?
it never happens again?
Continue the congressional oversight work that you're doing on Arctic frost. Let me provide you with more documentation on Arctic frost and also call in witnesses from the paperwork that we have given you. You have that right, and the American public deserves to hear what those people have to say. As for my ongoing investigation, there's not much I can say.
What
Don't you think this is
role
about money,
did
though?
the FBI play
brought
in
stability
suppressing the
and
Hunter Biden
security to
laptop
the
story during the
That's
2024
all I ever
election?
want.
Off
Not
the
the
top of
money.
my memory,
That's
sir,
just
I
intended.
believe the FBI
Now,
was in
get
possession
yourself
of
some
verified
fancy new machines
information
or something.
from that laptop. And it was
Congratulations.
improperly publicized that they did not have information.
Why
and
you looking at
masked
my
it
bank
as
account,
Russian
Unc? What's wrong with you?
disinformation. We now know that was categorically false.
Can I
don't
help
know
you
why
with
the FBI did that when they
something?
did that, but we've released all the materials related to that.
Alright, fuck this game. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not playing this shit right now.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from
I
New York.
just
is recognized.
downloaded
Mr.
it
Goldman.
just to have it downloaded.
Mr.
I
Patel,
might play it
does
another
Donald
time.
Trump appear anywhere in the
How do I
Epstein
even quit
files?
this shit?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
It's not a complicated question. Does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I didn't say it was a complicated question. I just didn't hear you, so my apologies. We have released where President Trump's name's in the Epstein files and everybody else, and all credible information that we are legally allowed to release has been released.
All right, so let's go through that. You're referring to court orders that prohibit you from releasing grand jury testimony under Rule 6E. Is that what you're referring to? You say is the law allows?
That shit hit my ankle.
That's a piece of it.
Really? What other evidence does
Damn, that shit
do those
cracked
three
me
court
right on
orders
my
you
ankle.
cited prohibit from being
pedals.
released?
Information that was collected pursuant to those search warrants that were limited
Wrong.
in fashion.
Wrong. That's
Okay.
not what the court order says, and that's not under 6E.
And you're talking, and I said that's 6E, and I said there was others, and I'm answering that there are sealed court order documents. There are protective orders.
They are unsealed as part of discovery given to Ghislaine Maxwell. They are no longer sealed.
That's just not true. We can argue about it all you want.
Okay, well, you agree that there are. So your testimony here is that the reason why you are not releasing all of the videos that you have acknowledged, there are so many, and that the FBI spent thousands of hours of reviewing, the photographs, all of the photographs that you have. You're saying that you're not releasing those because there's a court order requiring them to be sealed? Is that your testimony?
Never said that about the videos. On the totality of the videos, of the thousands of images that were seized pursuant to the
Rock
search
my
warrants
ankle,
executed
gang.
at the
Oh,
time,
that shit hurts.
the overwhelming
Yeah, this feels
majority
much better
of
like
that
this.
video is pornographic material that was downloaded from the internet and child sexual abuse material. We will never release that.
Well, as you should not release the victims.
Duh.
But if there are videos that relate to
That's the only videos
others
they didn't
who
release.
Epstein trafficked to, such as maybe
They ain't
Prince
dropped.
Andrew or photographs, that you have total control to release.
Yes, and if it
And
exists,
so why haven't you released it?
It already
why are
was.
you supposing that that is a fact when in fact it is false? Are you saying that
You're saying
I'm
that
sitting
none
on
of the
that evidence?
videos relate to anything relevant to the Jeffrey Epstein trafficking ring?
Every single video that we have collected pursuant to the prior search warrants has been.
Oh no! Fuck, I was watching that, bro. I hope this video is still in my history, bro. I was watching that, man. Fuck.
From the left.
Oh my
48%
God,
of liberals
bro.
say it would be.
I lost my fucking spot.
Without objection.
And lastly, the
Oh my
libertarian
God,
think
bro.
tank Cato and their analysis on.
Simply put, what is it? Are we failing? If we're failing, how are
God, bro, I'm tight right now.
2025. Emotional and sad stories of
Chinese are up by, I think, something like 40%. And specifically, the cases in Michigan show two threat streams, not just against our agricultural industry, which is a threat to national security, but they were also bringing in chemical
I'm
agents
so
and mushrooms.
tight.
I'm not
I
the
was
exact
listening
expert,
to this shit. I don't know
that
where
would
it
have
was
ultimately
at.
hurt our population. We arrested and charged all of those individuals, and we were aggressively going after them in every single state because they weren't doing it in Michigan.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Washington's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, before you joined the FBI, you had very strong opinions about what the FBI was hiding regarding Jeffrey Epstein. In a September 2023 interview with Glenn Beck, you said, the Black Book is under the, quote, direct control of the director of the FBI. In December 2023, you said, let us know who the pedophiles are. Even for a short time after becoming FBI director, in February, and to have people investigate their claims. Some of them have never testified before. If you are so interested in getting the public to submit any information, why have you not met with them?
think I got
You said
this
you
far.
haven't met with them. Have you met with them? I'll give you one more chance.
My job as the FBI director is to
Is the
invite all
answer yes or
investigative
no
leads.
to whether or not?
This bitch is annoying.
Carter Page and the rest of the Trump campaign.
And that is frightening, because that's what the CIA is supposed to do in foreign countries. It's not supposed to happen to Americans, but it did, didn't it, Director?
Yes.
And not just any Americans, it happened with the President of the United States.
I'm
Is that
pissed.
accurate?
I lost my place in this fucking
yeah, and you were the
video,
key guy
bro.
in helping expose that. And I think our country will be forever grateful for what you did to
I'm so pissed,
let the
bro.
country know that was going on involving Americans, which is not supposed to happen, and not just, again, any American, but the President of the United States. Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from California.
What about my
you, Mr.
videos? Did
Chairman.
those stop uploading,
I'm
bro?
concerned.
Bro. Damn, bro. I hope this shit don't stop my shit, because I'm not going back to find out which one is which. Fuck. Damn, bro. Why did I do that? Oh, Webhead. I hope all these shits is still uploading, bro. Fuck. Damn, man. It's like... Damn, bro. I was watching that, bro. Ha ha. Police arrest 50 plus anti-ICE protesters.
Police arresting
Fuck
nearly
around and
50
find out, stupid
protesters
fucks.
outside of a federal building in Minneapolis as Homeland Security warns of escalating attacks on ICE agents. The senior correspondent, Steve Harrigan, live in Minneapolis with the latest from there. Steve.
Kevin, that protest out in front of the federal building in Minneapolis turned violent after protesters were told to disperse. At least 42 people were arrested when they were told they had to break it up. Many
Thank
began
God.
throwing bottles and ice at the federal agents. At least one agent wounded, one patrol car smashed up, one protester arrested for assault. In the meantime here, these daily protests are really taking a toll on the local economy, especially small businesses and restaurants having a hard time. Local entrepreneurs trying to encourage people to buy local, many saying that this is worse for businesses than even COVID was.
My co-founder and I stopped by a restaurant on our street and ended up filling to-go orders for them because more than 50% of his staff is gone. Afraid to come to work for fear of being taken by ICE.
That's insane, bro. That means you're openly admitting to hiring illegals. Like, what the fuck? If you have your workforce is scared to go to work because of ICE, that is a problem. That is a problem, sir. You should start hiring American citizens. What the fuck? Like the delusion run deep.
Even as U.S. citizens, even with work permits, even with the right paperwork. We've lived through this before during COVID in 2020 following.
That's cap, because everybody who has the right work permits, has the right shit, is not worried. My wife ain't worried. She ain't worried about shit. Y'all just be making up propaganda.
The murder of George Floyd, and we're living through it again, and this time it's worse.
700
George?
ICE agents
Get
were
the
pulled
fuck
out
outta
on
here.
Wednesday. That still leaves 2,000 here. So far, no public timeline on when they will be leaving. Kevin, back to you.
Stay warm or do the best you can. Steve Harrigan up in Minneapolis. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate that. Joining me now is Chad Wolf, former DHS Secretary and America First Policy Institute Executive Director. Always a pleasure to have you with us because I know you understand better than most the severity of the circumstance in Minneapolis. We're not just talking about trying to rid the homeland of individuals who have no right to be here, but have also, Chad, created havoc on this nation and on its people. That's why what's happening there is such an important storyline, even at this hour. You saw Steve there talking about the removal of some of these protesters. That seems to be a bit of a shift or maybe a bit of tightening on their policy, and it seems to be working. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the ongoing violent protest, you just reported you had 40 individuals arrested because of that violence. I think this is a real problem for Minneapolis and for those Democratic leaders there. Because what they have been telling the American people is that those protests are peaceful and that if ICE withdraws, then some of that protest and some of the violence, I should say, can abate. And it doesn't seem to be the case. So what we need now is we need the leadership of the Democratic Party to come out and start saying, stop with the violent protesting, stop with the violence there in Minneapolis. Because as Tom Homan has said, if the violence subsides, then they can draw down even more resources there in Minneapolis, which is what those leaders want.
They should have been doing this.
If that violence continues, as we see, that the numbers aren't going to dwindle. In fact, they're likely to go up because you need to protect those officers. So now is the time that you need Democratic leaders to say enough is enough. We're going to send in the police. We're going to arrest the violent protesters immediately. We're going to hold them accountable. And now is the time for them to start speaking out.
Is this a federal law circumstance? Because I think the concern for some, Chad, would be you're going to arrest these guys, they're just going to be back out on the streets in a couple
boys. What a
hours.
glorious time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's going to be
around and
prosecuted
find
at
out,
the local level
boys.
for the
Fuck
most part,
around and
unless
find out.
you've got federal law enforcement and prosecutors that want to weigh in. It depends on the types of things that they're being arrested for. If they're assaulting federal officers, obviously a federal prosecutor can get involved. If they're doing other things that are more locally based, then some of the local prosecutors will eventually prosecute that. But the concern is, yes, absolutely, they go in jail and then they just simply get out in a matter of hours. I think that is the concern. And so you need the Trump administration weighing in with the local leaders, talking to the governor, talking to the mayor, and talking to others to say, look, we're doing our part. We've withdrawn some ICE assets here because we told you if the violence starts to diminish, we can remove even more. But if the violence stays the same or is increasing, that's a real problem for the leaders there in Minneapolis.
Yeah, and a lot of people felt like, well, they changed. They took a 700-person drawdown, but listen, more than 2,000 people still on the ground trying to
I know
affect a
Nuts
change
is
in what's
gonna
been
go
happening
crazy
there.
on this
And
later.
give Tom Homan credit. Here's a guy who has come in, Chad, and really sort of
This news
shifted
just
the
dropped an
narrative
hour
just a
ago.
bit. And again, and I think the messaging is part of this. We're not talking about running around to some office building or some restaurant. We're talking about getting the worst of the worst out of this country, off the streets, and no longer a danger to its citizens.
This dude is retarded, bro. Mamdani is just.
All right,
he's
listen to
making
this.
shit
New
worse.
York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is doubling down on his sanctuary city policies. The Democratic Socialist executive orders now limit when ICE agents can go into the city operated spaces like schools, shelters, and hospitals. Our CB Cotton is live in New York to break all of this down for us. So what does this all mean?
Hey, Aisha. Yeah, for the second time in less than 2 weeks, New York leaders are positioning themselves against immigration enforcement. As you mentioned, this time it's New York City's Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani signing an executive order to reiterate the Big Apple's sanctuary policies, which require ICE agents to have a judicial warrant before entering a city property such as a school, shelter, or hospital. Mamdani's executive order also requires city agencies to review their own internal policies to ensure compliance with sanctuary law. When announcing his directive yesterday, the mayor slammed ICE as a, quote, rogue agency, and he accused ICE agents of this.
Masked agents paid by our own tax dollars violate the Constitution and visit terror upon our neighbors. They arrive as if atop...
I think the insurrection is gonna start in my city, bro. This sucks. This fucking sucks, bro. I couldn't even start in Minnesota. Like, I would have much rather seen Tim Walz and all the motherfuckers and Frey or Fry, whatever his name is. I would have much rather seen them get arrested, bro. And then I was hoping Mamdani would like learn from their mistakes and fucking actually follow through with listening to Trump. But it's looking like our state is gonna have to be the example, bro. This sucks. I ain't gonna lie. This sucks. My state is gonna have to be an example, bro. I guarantee an insurrection is gonna happen if this man continues to impede with ICE. This man is definitely gonna get arrested.
Up a pale horse,
impeding,
and they leave a path of wreckage in their wake.
So DHS responded, slamming Mayor Mamdani in a statement and accusing him of, quote, turning New York City into a shield for violent criminal illegal aliens to reoffend and create more innocent victims, end quote. The agency says there are more than 7,000 non-citizens with active ICE detainers who are currently in custody of a jurisdiction within New York State. According to DHS, these people have criminal records that include homicide, assault, and sexual predatory offenses. Mamdani's executive order upholding sanctuary city laws comes just a week after Governor Kathy Hochul announced a policy proposal that would bar local police across the state from working with ICE. Aisha.
Okay, thank you so much, CB. Well, the clock is ticking to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Lawmakers are scrambling. Yes, they're scrambling to reach an agreement again before a government shutdown. It's looking unlikely in time to avoid a government shutdown. We are reliving this nightmare all over again. Florida Congressman Mike Herodopoulos joins me now with more on these negotiations. So both sides, it sounds like, have accepted the fact that later this week, we're going to shut down again. But is anyone surprised? Is anyone shocked that Democrats came back with a brand new list of demands that did not agree with the Senate agreement?
Well, you're exactly right. This is simple Democrat politics. They have nothing to run on right now. It's chaos in the streets in New York City. They have to defend the Biden economic policies that have failed. And so what do? They want chaos every single day. And so they make these ridiculous demands on us. And what we're going to do is simply keep the government open and do it the right way. But we're not going to give in to the, I would say, the ransom note to give from the earlier story from the other side. We are a party of adults, and we want to get things done right. And it's the reason why we've seen the economic comeback the last year, because we finally put people first instead of sending all the power up to Washington.
But there were Republicans, to be fair, that saw this coming, Congressman. And Liz Elkind, our brilliant reporter on Fox Digital, tweeted this. House conservatives were telling her they were quietly fuming about Trump's deal with Senate Democrats. And one of them said, "We shot ourselves in the foot, and 9 days later, we'll do it again," one member told her. How are we in a better negotiating position in 2 weeks? The only difference will be time. At the end of the day, I'm worried that we're going to make a lot of concessions that we don't normally make. Was this a bad deal to begin with, that you just keep giving them more time, giving them more time, giving them more time to try to get as much as they can?
Well, I'd be worried about if we had no funding for ICE and other groups that are so essential to lock up these bad guys. I mean, DHS just put a website called wow.dhs.gov that outlines all of these criminals, murderers, rapists, drug dealers, child molesters.
Iran's foreign minister pushing back against the White House after talking directly with U.S. officials about the regime's nuclear program, saying this, quote, "Our missile program is strictly for defense. It is not and will never be."
Yeah, right, bro. We supposed to believe you terrorist fucks is gonna fucking use that shit only for defense. Get the fuck out of here.
A subject for
You
negotiation.
motherfuckers is the
but President
biggest
Trump
problem.
isn't having it. Listen to this.
Yeah, there's a deal that would be acceptable, but the one thing, and right up front, no nuclear weapons. If we could have made that deal 2 years ago, we would have made that deal, but they weren't willing to do that. Now they are willing to do it. If they would have offered this deal originally when we first started, it would have been accepted immediately. We'll see what happens.
Here to discuss is retired four-star General, Fox News senior strategic analyst, and chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, General Jack Keane. General, good morning. Thank you for being here. Where do you see these talks stand? I find it interesting that, Iran said that they would only have indirect communications with the U.S. and they would only have direct talks if there were sanctions released. They don't like the maximum pressure, but yet here they were on Friday with direct talks, and they were saying the talks were going well. But then we get this message about the ballistic missiles off the table from the foreign minister. What do you make of it?
Well, I think their motivation for the talk certainly twofold. One, they want to put off the military strike, which is the option that's also on the table here, and in my mind, the preferred option. And number two, if they make any kind of a deal, the first thing they're going to want is sanction relief. And I think even if we made a deal favorable to us, I think that would not be in the best interest of the United States, the region, and certainly the Iranian people. Why is that? Because it extends the life of the regime. They're likely going to go on now for another 10 years. We have to deal with these people who are destabilizing the Middle East, using their proxies to attack Israel, and obviously horrifically repressing their own people. Is that?
I'm getting sleepy, bro. I'm getting sleepy. Sleepy.
The United States and China aren't just drifting apart, they are lawyering up and dividing up those assets. The Wall Street Journal is saying that the world's two biggest economies are heading towards a nasty divorce, an economic divorce. The fight has less to do with cheap t-shirts or TVs and really more about national security, semiconductors, food, energy, rare earths. So, are U.S. companies getting the message to have zero exposure to China? I think Brian knows I'm going to end because all week long he's been using this metaphor. He said we don't want to be married to China, we just want to be divorced to China, but a friendly divorce. We'll divide up the assets,
like where
and
you see your,
we'll still talk.
You see your ex around town and you say hi and you're nice to them and maybe an occasional interaction, but you don't share any personal information, no more bank accounts. Okay, so
You're acting like you know how to do this, but we'll save that conversation for another day.
No, I have been happily married 25 years, so I don't have a lot of experience with that. But may I change my metaphor a little bit on this?
Sure.
Because I went with the divorce. I went with the divorce metaphor yesterday, which I think is a good one. But but in terms of what the U.S. needs to do, it almost feels to me, and I'm doing this for Super Bowl week, it feels more like a situation where you had a big draft pick a few years ago. This was supposed to be the difference maker for your offense. It was a quarterback, okay? It was maybe like a Ryan Leaf for the football fans out there. And you draft this quarterback and you realize he's killing your team. It was the wrong move. Not good in the locker room, not good on the field. It makes other people on your team worse. You gotta cut the draft. You got to let it go. It was a bad decision. We were wrong about China. We said China's going to become a democracy, capitalism is going to save them, and it's been exactly the opposite. You let that draft pick go, and instead, the money you've saved, you go out and you put new people on the field. That's what I think, like the Trump administration, and we're going to talk about Argentina and the trade deal there, But we got to put a different team on the field now. China's gone. Okay, we let that draft pick go. We put a different team on the field because we want to win games, and you need other people on the field.
Okay, but how painful is it if you've had that quarterback for 10 years and all of the plays are wrapped up around this big throw that only that quarterback can do? So I'm thinking about our relationship in China and how messy this could be because we are so entangled with them. We were just talking about Under Armour. We were talking about Apple. These companies have operations in China. So you can't just say, cut the quarterback and get a new one.
I mean, the bottom line, you guys have I've been watching you the past several days talking about the $1 trillion that they're going to be spending on agriculture to have homegrown stuff.
To grow their own soybeans.
But the point is, how are we expanding our base? How are we dealing with the situation at home? With private companies, whether they're U.S. private companies or foreign companies coming here to build. They're doing it with these exotic financial tools that are issued by the government. They just had a $1.7 trillion. They're in the midst of a $1.7 trillion 5-year debt restructuring plan. That is just, I went into the details of it on Grok, and it's just crazy stuff. It's crazy communist Marxist economic stuff that they're trying to spend. Also, they have these ultra long sovereign bonds. I know we've talked about it here, but they're delivering these 20 to 50-year bonds, about $200 billion in that, to fund their 5-year plans. You know how communists love these 5-year plans and 10-year plans. I mean, this is like playing games on the street with a walnut. You know, where's the ball under which walnut? The bottom line is they are doing it through the public sector, through government, communist government trickery. We are doing it through serious private sector investment. I have no problem saying somebody's going to lose and somebody's going to win. I think they're going to lose with their strategy and we're going to win with ours.
And I love that idea. Jackie and I am all for decoupling with China. But then you get calls about the $4,000 iPhone because there is zero chance that Apple can make an iPhone here in the U.S. because we don't have the support, the critical minerals, which I know you and I could talk about, to build that up. So then you get calls for great, but like good luck making your Nike socks here and also good luck making your iPhone here. It doesn't happen. How do we change that narrative so that it can happen?
Well, that's a longer term question. And I do think that the president has that on his radar, and he's trying to think about that and set a framework for that to happen. But very long term. Overall, I would start off by saying we're actually never going to decouple from China. And Brian, to speak to your analogy, but maybe to take it one step further that you wouldn't, we already got in bed with China. So you can't rewrite history and pretend that that never happened. And that's why I think now it's, what are the terms going to be? China tried to dominate so hard, and both economies realized that they need each other to a certain extent, but for two different reasons. One, the manufacturing reason that Taylor brings up, but two, just the trade and having China as a market and China having access to the U.S. market. And I see those things as distinctly different. So we can work on a long-term picture where companies try to come back home, try to figure out that model where they can make an iPhone and be competitive. But until they do, they're still going to be making them overseas. They're trying to find other cheap places to make them, but some of that work is still happening in China. And so when you think about access to the markets, then it becomes a standoff or it becomes a negotiation. We've never had a president that negotiates quite like this one. And so here you are in a situation where we were on our heels and Xi Jinping was kind of setting all these rules and we were following them and kind of just giving in to China. And this president is saying absolutely not. And he's doing all the other chess moves around China to be able to make sure that we have more leverage. So I don't think we ever decouple, but I do think he is changing the terms on which we can coexist and continue to trade, which we know both economies need to do.
And Lou, one of those terms is the critical minerals deal, which I love, 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 because this is one, along with maybe pharmaceuticals, one of the most important sectors that we need onshoring, and it is the way to give us the upper hand in those negotiations and to tell China, we're not going to play your game anymore.
Yeah, I completely agree with critical minerals. I mean, China controls 61% of the mining, 91% of the refining. The U.S. is at 9% and 1% comparatively. It's a critical weakness for us, no pun intended. But I think Jackie's right. The president here, for the first time in decades, is saying, forget this globalization lie. We're going to move to conscious uncoupling, a little Gwyneth Paltrow-esque move, and now we're going to set the terms of the negotiation.
Right.
We can't ever permanently decouple from these economies. But use the football analogy, we were never meant to be on the same team with the Chinese, right? They're supposed to be an opponent and an adversary that we can have and do things together, but we have to do business in a way that's America first. And I got to give the president credit here. You know, everyone's bemoaned his whole escalation of the tariffs and then coming back, right? The taco trade. But look at what he's done. I mean, he went from 30 to 50 to 70%. Now the effective tariff rate is about 10.5%. Companies can deal with that. You can still exist and find ways to source products. I mean, we talked about it. Remember last April when Tim Cook, within a matter of 3 weeks, had already figured out how to move his supply chain out of China into India and other countries. This economy and the American economy and American CEOs are more dynamic than I think people
Can I just throw one word into the mix, which is freedom? They hope to do their decoupling from the U.S. by squeezing the Chinese people, by limiting their freedom even more, squeezing every ounce of their life out of them. We wanted to grow our economy by giving people freedom, by expanding the freedom that we have. We can't forget the fact that they are a communist dictatorship and we represent freedom. I think freedom will win.
And that will bite them. Eventually, it takes time for these things to play out, but it will bite them.
Freedom is like when you work out really hard after the breakup and then you see them at the beach and they're kind of flabby because of communism, but you've been in the gym with freedom and they're like, oh man, I should have never given that up. That's what we need, Taylor.
We're coming full circle with football, back to relationships. We're doing it all here.
Elon Musk just stitched together his rocket and artificial intelligence company in a deal.
Oh, I'm tired. I gotta bounce soon. In like 1 more hour, I gotta bounce for less than an hour. Holy shit, that sucks. I wonder if I still got my seat.
Honest shit. He is kind of like out here, like.
So she's
Marine dude.
I gotta tap him. Just like a brass knuckle type thing.
That's what it looked like, right? Let me show you what it is. Is that? Oh, I gotta get you one. I brought this white horse from Old Saudi gave me this shit. This shit's incredible. You know what I said, yo, I've been playing with this shit like a kid in the candy store. I'm like, yo, this shit's incredible. The white dudes, you gotta watch them, bro. They got all kind of high tech shit.
You got fantasies of stabbing somebody?
I mean, I've been playing.
Yeah, I haven't played this game since I was on my old PC.
When you see different shit, because this is really,
awesome.
really go both ways.
Yeah.
On my new
You know what
PC,
I'm
it's gonna
saying?
look beautiful.
You ain't even gotta flip it out, but you get into a situation that ain't in favor of you. You know what I'm saying? You don't even see it. It's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that's legal?
It's legal.
Yeah.
I got it from the dude said it's legal. The blade is legal to the blade. So R&B hooked me up.
Auto detect system has chosen
What kind of weapons do you have
preset for your system. Extreme.
You got any like pepper spray or anything?
Haha.
We got like 6, 7 firearms. You know, she in her CCW class. She's licensed.
Settings. I'm just checking.
Nevada shit.
Difficulty
Go to the
average.
range,
Driving
white dude,
assistance medium.
ex-military Marine.
Blah 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 blah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you do that. Definitely.
I'm out here just taking chances. All right, the Adam and Wax Show. We in here today.
What
How you
about
feeling?
dogs?
With the dogs. The dogs are here. Dogs need to chill the f out and not be all up in everybody's face. There's one thing I would like to request. Dogs, chill out. Relax.
You think they know where they at?
They know something. They know something's going on. So we're a little confused. Anyway, what's going on with you?
man?
What's going on in the Live of White 100 today?
Oh man, it's been all kind of crazy shit going. I had to wake up this morning to get caught up. You know,
This game sounds
I
so
throw a bunch of seeds out there sometimes, and I don't know where they're gonna land. You know, and I look and I see which one's starting to grow. I think the craziest one is I think Max B. He's bad.
Yeah, you keep pumping out more info about him, huh?
I mean, it was Flacco somehow ended up with some paperwork.
Oh, Oh, so you're feeding stuff to Flacco?
Definitely.
Definitely. But aren't you cool with French? Like, how does that go?
Well, you know, you got to remember, it's an alarming thing. French is a totally legal dude. You know, he lives a clean life, prosperous life. So,
Been on the streets for a long time.
yeah, and at the end of the day, you know, nobody could get mad about me waking people up. I mean, I'm still tripping on.
This game's gonna look gorgeous.
If you're
on my
mad at
fucking
me for
PC. I should have
exposing
bought
it,
this game first.
are you mad at the guy that did it?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean,
Well, actually,
they
it's
would
a good
probably
thing
just
I
be like,
invited
oh, it
this
was a
in
long
first
time
place.
ago.
Shit.
Now I got both Forza
That's how he got. Look, he got that man
and
in there.
BMG,
His
and now I got
stepbrother,
Forza.
120 years.
Stepbrother.
Yeah, 120 years,
Well,
bro.
you're
He-
supposed to have beef with your stepbrother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Why's that green? What are you drinking? You drinking green?
R&B puts chlorophyll or some shit, some cleanser,
she's
some
trying to
shit she
kill
put
you.
in there.
Nice.
It's
Close
gonna
the
kill
door.
me. It's gonna kill me if not. Fuck it.
Yeah.
She gonna
Shit.
kill
All
you.
right.
I
Yeah.
ain't really been watching shit. What's been going on, man? Everybody's still on the. Everybody's still on the shows.
Steering wheel,
and
yes,
the
go.
news.
Use
We
the
still
driving
got
line to help
Tamburger's
your
still
drive
here?
accelerate
Tamburger's
when
still
the
here.
line is
Tamburger
blue,
just honestly
and use
kinda
brakes when it's
got
red.
one over on
Okay.
me.
What you mean?
Because so she said one time on the podcast, she said that Taylor Swift came from a rich
E-brake is
family
B, that's
and would have
nice.
been rich
Switch
regardless
camera.
of if she became a musician,
Rewind.
right?
Oh.
So I
That's
said
nice.
that to
All right.
Lena, and
So we
Lena
got
immediately
handbrakes
starts
now.
tripping because
Nice.
Lena loves Taylor Swift so much. But Lena said her family owned a Christmas tree farm. They didn't have money like that. She's full of shit. So I mentioned that on stream today, and Tam posts a screenshot.
This shit finna look beautiful,
Taylor
bro.
Swift came
I
from an
love my
affluent
PC.
upper
My
middle
PC
class
is awesome.
background, not a poor one. Her parents were in the finance industry. I mean, being in the finance industry, her father was a successful stockbroker for Merrill Lynch. Her mother was a fund marketing executive. I mean,
You can't be going off with the women.
I can't wait for Forza 6 to come out. Oh my god, that shit gonna look even more
Taylor Swift
better.
has a song called Christmas Tree Farm, which is like about, I don't know, her family owning a Christmas tree farm.
It's probably her family probably does.
They're probably just doing that for fun. They're also apparently very deep in the financial industry.
Or they're doing like those rappers, just lying.
This kills me. I don't want to, right? I want to be right.
If anybody, listen, if you lose anybody,
This game is
I
I don't know why it took me so long to play this. I was playing this shit when I first got my first PC.
I want to be right.
And I thought it looked beautiful then. Oh my god, this is
But
gonna
I
be
am going to
amazing.
present
I
that to
already
Lena,
know.
and maybe she'll have a counterpoint. Actually, I feel like
I
I'm
would,
get
bro,
lost in
use
this
that when you don't want to be bothered with her.
okay.
Because the minute you tell her that, she's going to get irritated.
Wait.
So when you really don't want to be bothered with her, bring that up to her.
Yeah.
She'll stay out
Branco.
your space.
No, I run towards the flames.
Fucking go.
Oh, shit.
We're going to call this out.
The fucking pressing answer.
She's doing an Instagram reel day. She's shooting Instagram reels.
Oh, I'm pressing enter on my foot.
It's all bullshit.
Let's go, boys.
To rent the house, just Instagram reel. She'll shoot 80.
Let's fucking go.
OnlyFans, you see, they go up.
Dropping like it's hot.
Because you know, she used to do like
Why is it not connected?
Whatever, like, do a little content.
Hold on.
I realize that shit don't really move the needle. People don't really give.
They don't care
Why
about
is my
that.
wheel
But
not
now
connected?
she's shooting Instagram reels,
Just like regular shit.
80 in a day.
Just regular shit. Just,
You know, like stealing little
Why is my
ideas off
wheels
TikTok and
not
shit.
connected?
oh, got you. And just recreating them, reinventing them. Well, man, listen, man, shout out Leonard. I don't know how, like I said, I've never really been on
E-brake, make that B.
OnlyFans.
Really?
So what do you guys charge?
$5 on plugtalk.com. $5 for your first month.
I can't
$20 after that.
No more.
Per
Got
month.
you.
For all of our content.
Got you.
Pretty good.
What you got, about 500,000 subs?
I don't know. That's a good question.
You don't keep up with it?
I don't know that exact stat.
Yo, man, I was looking forward to Crip Mac coming on.
I know. He had to go sit in the county for a week.
What, he got some parking tickets or something? That's what it sounds like.
So he was on state probation prior to catching the Fed case, and I think he was like avoiding his parole officer or whatever. So then when he gets out,
none of
he's
this
in
shit is
violation
mapped
of his
for me, bro.
probation that he had before
That's
the
what you
Fed
telling me right
case.
now.
So
None
as
of
a
this shit is
result,
mapped.
boom, he has to go deal with that. They
I gotta
said he would be out
configure. Hold on,
in
let
a
me see
week,
what I have
which
to
would be like
configure
this
this.
weekend.
But he caught a new beef, didn't he?
A new beef?
Yeah, he went. This Fed case was a total new case.
Yeah, but he was already still on probation through the state.
Yeah, that
So-
shit is crazy.
can't
Usually,
configure?
when you catch a new beef
Let me see
like that, usually supersede that. But
Where's Forza?
that's crazy. So they gonna just they can make him do some months then.
I would have thought that we would have already like heard some updates from Crip Mac in the county.
He gotta wait to. He gotta see what his PO
Why is it
recommends.
official too? Where's the
Oh
official
yeah,
one?
I mean they said a week. Who knows? Could it be a few weeks? Could it be months? I don't know. But I mean, they were acting like it wasn't the end of the world.
Him coming from the feds and going to the county is like the worst.
Yeah, that's gotta be weird,
Shithole
right?
conditions.
The county is
shit, what the
dog
fuck
shit
going
compared to
on
the
here?
feds is
Yeah,
more
yeah,
like
yeah.
proper.
Yeah.
Interesting. You want to know what I did this weekend that was kind of interesting?
What's that?
So, Brig Baby, his.
Oh yeah, I can tell you what you did.
What?
Don't even tell me, cause you was at one of my.
I don't got no control over my wheel, bro.
You were at
This
a
shit is
building
whole
that I
weed.
have something to do with.
Okay.
2020 build.
So his.
I didn't go that day specifically. I was supposed to be down there to do some stuff.
If you went, that would have been pretty strange. I'm not gonna lie. So
turn
his
this bitch.
girl had a party for his 3-year-old daughter's birthday party. Now, let me tell you what the fuck going on? I've only ever been to sort of like upper scale children's birthday parties. Usually,
Why is my shit not working, bro?
Because the parents kind of like detect that the kids are not really like gonna stay locked in for much longer than that or whatever. The party was supposed to be at 12. It said 12 to 5. I showed up at 2. They were still setting up. And we were like the only people there.
That's black people shit.
I mean, that's what his girl told me. She said, this is black people stuff.
They
We're late
tell
Friday.
people too to.
I
get
didn't
them
know
there
that was
by 3.
real. I thought that was just kind of like a joke.
Bro,
It turns out it's like official policy.
you tell a person if you want somebody there at 5, you tell them 2:33.
Yeah, I mean, we do have that problem on this podcast, but really with people of all races. But anyway, so we show up. They're still kind of setting
Bro,
up.
what's going-
But my kid has a great time. Pretty solid party. You know, they got a piñata. They got all kinds of candy and treats and, you know, food, whatever. My kid, totally unaware of the fact that she's the only white girl there. And I'm the only white person there. And for
something wrong
most of
with
the
this
party,
shit,
I was
bro.
the only man there. Desto Dub showed up towards the end as well as a couple other
There's
guys.
something wrong
But
with this shit.
You didn't see anybody you recognize?
what do you mean?
Nobody you recognize?
No, I saw your filming crew
Like,
that
look at
were the
this
ones
shit.
who were filming me doing the boxing training.
Well,
They just so happened to be upstairs.
Just so happened.
Well, I mean, they were like helping out with like the food pop-up. Yeah. But it was an interesting occasion. But Parker had a great time. And it was very nice to spend some time with her 3-year-old cousin. But yeah, it's like I always just keep wondering like when she's gonna notice in a situation like that.
Why can't I use my fucking shit, bro?
Yeah, and there's a lot of kids of different races in the school, but you just never know.
That's good. That means she's coming up in a different world.
Yeah.
And in her household, she's not being taught bad things.
No, we never mentioned.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I tell you deal with majority people of the opposite race anyway, right?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, but the opposite race, black and white are opposite. I guess they're opposite.
I wanted to see if you was gonna let me get
I mean,
that
they're
off.
opposite, like on the scale of like colors.
I wanted to see if you was gonna let me get that off. Yeah, so now I was supposed to have been down there. I had some business to do that. And then they were like, hey, they got a kid party. Such and such, such. I was like, kid party. I looked at the schedule. I'm like, they're like, yeah, Brick Babies. As soon as I heard Brick, they said, Adam's here.
Yeah.
So when I heard Brick Babies, although me and Brick Baby's wife were good.
Bro, this is pissing me off now.
You know, she was working with me.
Uh-huh.
I paid her.
Right.
When I found out she was Brick Baby wife, who she was, we chopped it up. And, you
my
know, she
shit
was
plugged in, right?
our
What the fuck
in-house
going on,
nurse for the whole reality show.
Get this. I pull up. It's already hectic because the area downtown, it was right near this like big Grammys party. So there's like people and like people directing traffic, tons of cars, whatever. I pull onto the street. There's literally like 150 Mongols outside of the venue that this party's at. Mongols being a biker gang, a la
Shout out to Mongo.
a la the Hells Angels.
Shout out to my man Bobby D.
Definitely on some tough shit. Like the vibe of these guys is like
my family,
they're
though.
not f***ing around.
That's
Now
my
they were
family.
just at like a party next door to the party that we were at, and didn't seem to give a shit about what we had going on over here. But it was a little intimidating seeing
So
this
they
many
gave a
guys
shit
on motorcycles.
because Mongos are very protective of children.
Yeah, I figured.
Very protective of kids. I kind of met the dude that's kind of like up there, believe it or not. It was the Freshman album cover. We did the show down here, LA Live.
Okay.
With Blueface and Meg Thee Stallion, YK Osiris, Lil Baby, Gunna, all those cats. And I was in the parking lot, and it was a lady down there with a young boy, like 9 or 10. And she was like, hey, he wants to get in and meet Blueface. And I was like, nah.
Wait, who wanted to meet him?
The little boy.
Okay.
She was waiting in the parking lot. She didn't have tickets. Shit was sold out. I said, nah, lady, he can come on in. I'm going to let him meet everybody. So I brought him in. We had these animated books of all the artists. So I got him a book. I took him to all the artists' dressing rooms so they could sign them and meet them. And so when it came time for Blueface to perform, I let him go on stage with the DJ. Back then it was Bugsy. And the kid at the time of his life, a couple days later, I get a call. My man Bobby D, he's a Mongo. He's like, hey, Wack, man, I got one of my partners on the phone. You know, he's up there. You know, he's kind of locked down, but he's one of the ones. And he got on the phone and said, hey, brother, man, the little kid in the parking lot. I said, what kid in the parking lot? He said, you let him and my wife in, and you kind of took him around and let him stay and go on stage. I said, yeah, the little boy. He said, listen, I know you probably don't know, but he's had like 3 or 4 open heart surgeries. And it doesn't look too good.
Like, why is it only working on my
He
keyboard?
said, my little boy told me that
What is the deal with this shit,
He's
bro?
not scared no more. And he got a chance to meet everybody he ever wanted to meet. And so since then, he knew
Why
I
is
rode a
this shit
bike. He
only
asked me
working
what kind
with
of
my
bike I rode. And I told him, and maybe about 2-3 years later, I'm coming down Highway 58 headed to Vegas. I'm going to meet the Magic Wheels. I'm by myself in my Sawtail, and I blew by him. And you're not supposed to do that shit.
Just going by him?
No, hell no. Wait.
Bro, this shit makes
You
no
just have to go
sense.
slower than him, even on like a big multi-lane highway?
Gotta wait. Once we on 58, I blew by him going about 130, 140, trying to get to Vegas. I seen him come out the cut trying to get me.
Like, my steering
He
wheel
wasn't gonna
feels
catch my
fucking
bike as
stiff and
fast
all
as
that.
hell. So I get to Baker to get some gas.
what
When I
the
pull
fuck
into
is
the gas station to get the gas, I see him. Like, listen, I had him no line by myself. Dude looks at my bike.
Let's see.
Yeah. I said, all right. I said, yeah, man, next time, man, you know,
Can't even see
kind of
this
like
shit, gang.
let us do our
I don't
thing.
want to see this shit.
And I said, y'all with the Mongols? He said, yeah. He said, a friend of a friend say you a friend. So he saved me.
Home.
I mean, that just by going
The
faster
most
than something on the
beautiful
highway seems
place
like a
on
pretty
earth.
low bar for having a beef with
Where
somebody.
everyone is welcome.
Now my steering wheel is
And
fucked.
explore the
So you're talking
wonder
about when
and
there's like
beauty
a
of
line of them all.
Mexico.
That's a
This is why motherfuckers don't
Experience
play this
true
shit.
freedom. Feel alive. Friends and family.
Got places some weed.
You may ask,
Taking them outside.
are we ready for what happens next? My friend, one thing I have learned chasing the horizon. Sometimes you just have to let go and enjoy the ride.
10 times. That could look good and good divide. Can I use my steering? Apparently this shit is not working. Let's just use the keyboard. Bro, this is gonna be terrible driving.
Bienvenidos a México.
My wheel's not even turning.
See you on the other side. Follow that car. Trust me.
This would be so much better if I was on my wheel. This shit. Right.
There might be a little bit of traffic ahead. Watch out for that. Making new friends, eh? You go enjoy yourself. I have to go make another delivery. Drop zone approaching. Lovely day for a drive.
Controlling nice. I like how it sticks to the ground.
Soundtrack the storm. Sigue adelante. Keep going.
Why would I want to do that? Resume. Oh, I get it. That's like if I ever get into a accident and spin out. Oh,
Okay.
shit.
There's no other way around. Look at
Be like, at times like this.
you go through it.
music selection.
Touchdown! Not even a scratch.
Yeah, I haven't played the game in a
jungle
minute.
waits. Flamingos!
Driver, even on the keyboard. What are you talking about? Fuck, I drive.
I'll swing back round and guide you through the bridge.
This game is vibey, I ain't gonna lie.
¡Qué maravilla! You're not gonna believe your eyes when you see this. Keep going.
If this was BeamNG, I would have been ready. No lie. Baja.
This is the final drop. The whole festival is waiting. Go, go, go!
Fuck a hypercar, nigga.
What do you say? Rest of the festival wins? Vámonos!
This shit instantly hit in one fucking.
Horizon, this is Mexico. We've already had cars falling out of the sky, but all eyes are on the superstar making their way to the festival right now.
That nigga's out of here, bro. That nigga's out on me,
If
bro.
you just arrived at Horizon Mexico, then you are in for a treat, my friends. Get ready for the biggest Horizon adventure of your life.
What?
You hear that? Well, that is the last inbound cargo flight racing neck and neck with an AMG-1.
Oh, fucking sorry.
So strap yourselves in, Horizon. I've seen this driver before, and trust me, they know how to make an entrance. Oh, yeah. Well, that was day one of our Mexican Fiesta Party, people, and we are just getting started. Please welcome our #1 superstar to Horizon Mexico.
J2 Faga. Grrta. Welcome to Mexico. Okay. Foil.
It is a real fiesta, mis amigos.
I think This is the dude I chose last time, right? I don't remember.
Got one of the best in the history of the festival. You just wait and see. Coming in hot. Any second now.
Yeah, these some ugly ass characters, man. Fuck.
Coming in hot.
Ah, whatever. Let's take this. I don't care. Default. Next. 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 Oh no, this shit's too big. This shit's too woke for me.
These superstars know how to.
Can the sound team hear me?
Oh no.
Hello, hello. This is the sound of my voice.
Nah. I have to be a fuck. Oh my god. They need to give me some more voice options, bro. What the fuck? It sound like I'm from fuck out London or something. Chip, chip, cheerio.
Please give it up for Jason!
Hold on. How the fuck they knew my name was Jason? Is that the character's name for real? Jason? How the fuck they knew my name? That's fucking weird. How the hell they knew my name? What for?
Hey, my friend, when you dropped from that plane, what were you thinking?
I was doing all I could to not think about it.
Jamin told me
Nah, I
to
hate
expect
that
big
voice,
things
bro.
from you, but nothing so...
I can't change
so...
that voice, bro.
Espectacular?
Yes, Haley! I have so much to show you. Cerros, desiertos, la jungla, pirámides, la belleza de México.
Give me his voice, damn.
Your pronunciation was muy bien, by the way.
Fuck.
Getting better. Listen, if you plan on stopping by the festival at any point, you will need one of these.
No promises, jefa.
I believe this is yours. How was your flight?
Not bad. Exit procedure was a bit rough.
Yeah, I bet. Come on.
Man, I gotta
Rami will handle
leave in, like,
expeditions.
20 minutes.
I will coordinate festival logistics, which just leaves.
Primita, ven!
What do
Probably
you
got,
call
like, one
primita,
race.
primito? I saw what you did in the UK. Vamos a hacer de banda.
Alejandro, right? If the rumors about what you can do with an engine are true, I'm sure we will.
Oh, speaking of, did we get that delivery?
Arrived this morning.
Yes.
Mira, qué chulada. This is quite a collection. You've
Qué
got taste.
chulada.
I'll get them over to the garage. But which one are you taking out first?
Come on now. You know we gotta take out the Vetti. Why is my steering still fucked? I can't even use my controller. Like, this is dumb. Ooh, Supra too. Bronco. Stingray. What do I want to drive first? I ain't gonna lie. The Vet is looking nice. Super look nice too though. We're going with the Vet.
Can't go wrong with a Corvette.
Can you please give me the option to use my
be the
wheel already,
Corvette.
bro?
Great. How about a personalized number plate?
I can't just type it in. What the fuck kind of weird shit is this?
I'll get the rest of your cars to the garage. Gives me a little more time with them.
Can I please use my
Hey,
steering
Jason.
wheel, bro?
Talk about making an entrance.
That's really
I know
crazy
you've
that
just
his name is
arrived,
Jason
but our
and my
first
name is
showcase
Jason.
is
too.
ready to roll.
Holy,
We just need our
I forgot
superstar.
about this. Bro, why can't I use my... Not even my controller works, bro. What's going on? Do I unplug it and plug it back in? Nope, that doesn't work. Bro, this is bad. If I can't use my fucking wheel, what is the point of this shit?
Hope you're ready for this.
Oh, I am ready. I'll be there soon.
What is up, everybody? Scott Tyler here on the one and only Base Arena. The Horizon Festival has landed,
Oh, it's been
and
added to my
oh
garage,
my,
nice.
do we have big plans. But
What the
first, our
fuck, bro? I don't
superstar
want
is
to
here,
drive.
and he is making it.
I don't want to drive with my fucking Bro, how do I use my wheel? Wheel, please. Combine acceleration and brake on. Combine steering on. The fuck, please work, bro. This wheel profile is incompatible with your current connected wheel. Huh? Like, what the fuck going on, bro? Can't even do nothing. Can't, yo. There's gotta be something I'm missing here, bro. Accessibility. Items. No. Oh man, son, I'm really gonna have to fucking YouTube this shit. How the hell do I connect my... How to connect my wheel to Forza. Oh my god, how to connect steering wheel Forza 5 as blah 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 blah.
In this video, I'm gonna teach you how to connect the steering wheel on Forza Horizon 5 Xbox. It's a very easy process, so make sure to follow along. In this video, I'm gonna give you easy to follow instructions on other platforms such as PC where you can play the game. So all that you have to do to set up any steering wheel that you have is to connect the USB cable from the steering wheel to one of the available USB ports on your Xbox console. This console that you have, able to find is Pros category. Inside of the you might see a notification if they are not detected from the get-go or you want to check, go over to the settings, choose the options and go into the controls category. Inside of the controls settings, you will be able to switch between game, pad, keyboard, and finally steering wheel. So check steering wheel as the main input. And now, if your steering wheel is detected, you will be able to customize it in the settings to your preferences. So you will be able to adjust the sensitivity, the dead zones, and button mapping to suit your driving style. So customize all of these, and if you aren't sure, you can look for presets on YouTube or other communities to see what people.
So my steering wheel isn't compatible with this shit? You telling me my steering wheel isn't compatible with this shit, bro?
Hey guys, Will here. So well supported. Now, we kind of did expect this being an arcade game. No surprises there, really. But thankfully, there is a way to get most pedals and wheels actually working in Forza Horizon 5 with force feedback. And look, even though the quality of the force feedback isn't absolutely fantastic, we're not really expecting it to be, given that it is an arcade title. It is absolutely playable and absolutely a great way to at least hopefully get you up and running with your particular sim hardware. Now, I can't guarantee that this is going to work for absolutely every single person. I have tested it on a couple of different wheelbases. Did seem to work just fine on the VRS Direct Force Pro. I've got it running here on my SimiCube 2 Ultimate as well, so it should work on.
Holy shit! I bought this game for no reason. I got Xbox Pass for no reason. I'm about to unsubscribe to that shit, bro. I don't think I'm gonna be able to use this shit on fucking Xbox. I forgot about that, bro.
Any of the SimiCube 2 bases at least. Okay, so the way this works is using a couple of third-party pieces of software, VJoy as well as Forza EmuWheel. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump on the Forza
my god, I gotta download
setup
an emulator.
and whole process. Wizard run through that. And then
Nah, I'm not doing all that,
we're
bro.
selecting.
You tweaking. You tweaking. So I can't use a yo, bro. Moza steering wheel. Oh man, Xbox Forza. Alright, Forza. Bro, this is whack. So I can't even play. Wow, bro. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to play SnowRunner like this either. Bro. This is whack, bro. This is fucking whack. See, it doesn't even let me do customize. Oh my god, this not reading my wheel, bro. You shitting me? This sucks balls, bro, for real. This is so whack. This shit is horrible, bro. I gotta buy the game outside of Xbox Market, I'm guessing. That is so gay. This is fucked up, bro. I can't believe this shit. I can't even use this shit, bro. Can't play this game. I was so hyped to use this shit. And now I gotta dip too. It's already 5. Oh my god, bro. Wasted my time with this shit, bro. I'm so pissed, son. I'm so fucking heated, bro. It's not even funny. Fuck, bro. Fuck. I'm gonna have to figure this shit out when I get back, bro. This is so grimy. Fuck, bro. To get any Moza wheel pattern working for the.
So if you're like me, you have your Moza steering wheel and you come into Forza Horizon and for some reason you try to set up your steering wheel as an input and it just doesn't work. So let's say we try to save this with the wheel, then you get this error here. It says this wheel profile is incompatible with your currently connected wheel. And I tried to do some digging up and I just couldn't find out, I guess, why this is happening with my Moza R3 steering wheel. I can't change any button mappings. I can't do anything to get this wheel working in Moza. So I found something online where there is a way to fix this. So that's what we're going to make a video on today and show you how to do it. So when you have this error, you know easily how to get this fixed. I'll show you guys how to do that right now. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get out of Forza Horizon. You're going to go ahead and quit the application completely. So we're going to go ahead and continue without saving. Go back again. And we're going to go ahead and exit the desktop. Once we're in desktop mode, we're going to launch the Moza Pit House and show you a few things you need to do there. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is once you come into the Moza Pit House app, you're going to always make sure your wheel is running the most updated firmware. So to do this, you come down here in the Pit House app and you click on this button over here on the left. And you go ahead and see your wheel and everything that's plugged in. And you're going to want to make sure it's running the latest firmware version, right? So to check for updates, you can just click the Check for Updates button down here. Then you could go to the Firmware Manager. And then once you're in here, you could update all the firmware, right? I already did this. So right now I'm running 1.2.67. That's the latest firmware currently for my wheelbase and for my steering wheel. So all that is already done. So apparently everything we need to know is right here on the Moza website. There's this web page set up just to give you guidance on how to get this configured for Forza Horizon 4 and 5, a force feedback configuration. And I'll leave the link to this in the description of this video below. And it has the entire guide on what you need to follow. But I'll make it quick and easy for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of this page. And you're going to find this file that has all the configurations you need. And we're going to go ahead and do this together. So you're going to click on this to download it right here. It's a RAR file. We're going to download it. All right. And once it's downloaded, we're going to go ahead and open the folder that it's in. All right. All right. So now that we have our file downloaded, I have it moved over here to the Xbox Games folder. Forza Horizon 5 Moza is the file. So we're going to go ahead and extract it with whatever tool you use to extract your files. All right. So now that you have your files downloaded and extracted, you're going to go into the folder and you are going to find your wheel and pedal combination. So as you can see here in Moza Pit House, I have the ES steering wheel, R3 bass, and SRP light pedals.
This sucks, bro.
So here is that combination. If we could find it, R3 ESX. I have the ES wheel though. I don't have the ESX. So R5, R3. So let's go ahead and use this one, R3 ESX SRP light.
Yeah,
that's the closest to what I have. All right. Now, in this folder, you're going to find two files. So these files, they got to go into certain folders in your Forza Horizon installation. So for me, my Forza is installed in my C drive, Xbox games, Forza Horizon 5. So once we're in the Forza Horizon 5 folder, you're going to navigate to the content folder over here. Then you're going to find and open the media folder, which is up here. And in here, we're going to find two files, the input
Let me just read the
mapping
comments, see if people say
profiles
this shit worked.
and the wheels turnable setting.
Dude, you just saved my day. I was depressed with my... fuck. I was just depressed with my newly bought R3 not working with FHS. Kudos. My R5 is not working, buddy. You are actually the only one that got this devil game to finally work with Moza. Thank you. Huge help you, thank you. Don't forget the day. What? Don't forget the data in and out IP settings, by the way. It didn't work for me because the file doesn't let me copy it into the two folders. Everybody's appreciating it. So this shit must work. I'm gonna have to come back and watch this shit when I get back. Everybody's saying thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the help. Gracias, brother. Thank you so much. Oh my god, I love you so much. I just bought Moza R5 and I couldn't get it to work. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for I can't move. Oh, I guess it worked, bro. A lot of people was fucking saying it worked. I gotta come back to this radio. Come back to this radio. Oh man, I'm tired. I gotta fucking go, bro. I gotta go. I'm late. Fuck. It's cold as fuck. I don't even wanna go. Ooh. Let me end stream.